Chapter 546. Sister, what are you talking about? Why would I accept things from others? I just feel that the Crown Prince and Li Yan have the upper hand, so I feel. When Lu Shang saw the flustered look in his disappointing younger brother's eyes, he immediately became angry. Don't lie to me. How could I not know your personality? You've never cared about the matters of the imperial court. Why are you suddenly concerned this time? LV Nyocheng was rendered speechless. He stammered and couldn't say anything. Lu Nyocheng, if you don't tell the truth, I will tell your father. Wang Zhong frowned. Don't. The main reason why Lu Nyocheng was so timid was because of his father's strictness. Lu Bai's teaching method was strict. If he didn't listen, he would beat him. If he didn't learn, he would beat him. It was also because of this that Lu Nyocheng was always timid in everything he did. When it came to Lu Shang, Lu Bai wasn't that strict. In his words, it was enough for his daughter to learn the 4 arts. She didn't need to be too outstanding. Since young, the person Lu Nyocheng was most afraid of was his father, Lu Bai. When he heard his sister say that she was going to tell his father, he became anxious. Then why don't you tell the truth? Lu Shang said exasperatedly. Okay. Lu Nyocheng had no choice but to tell the truth. Sure enough, Lu Nyocheng received benefits from the Crown Prince. Just recently, someone had sent him a whole chest of gold and silver, as well as 2 women who had been trained by the palace to serve men. Lu Nyocheng didn't care about the chest of gold and silver, but after seeing the 2 women, he became excited. So in a moment of confusion, he accepted these gifts. Hey you! What do you want me to say? Lu Shang was so angry that her face turned red when she heard her brother's words. What do you want me to say? This kind of thing isn't easy to choose a side, but you actually... Sister, brother-in-law, the Crown Prince is the first successor. Moreover, the most powerful great eunuch, Li Yan, is helping him. The Crown Prince will definitely win. If we help him in advance, we can also get benefits. Lu Nyocheng was anxious and hurriedly explained. After explaining, Lu Nyocheng was even a little pleased with himself. His thinking was indeed correct. Although it would be better to see which side was stronger if they chose their side later, if they chose their side early, as long as the Crown Prince's side won, they would be considered to have contributed greatly and would receive more benefits. In the past, he felt that his brother-in-law, Su San, was very powerful and capable. But on this matter, why was he so timid? When Wang Zhong heard this, he sneered, "You're still thinking about greed at this time." That's right. When the late emperor was still alive, Li Yan was indeed very powerful and had dealt with many of his enemies. However, he also made many enemies. At this time, the 2 factions are fighting. It seems that the 2 factions are evenly matched, but Li Yan's enemies will definitely take advantage of his weakness to take his life. Have you thought about this? Wang Zhong's words made LV Nyocheng's heart turn cold. That's right. Everyone knew that Li Yan relied on the late emperor's favor back then to unscrupulously plunder the people's wealth. Moreover, he attacked those who disagreed with him and killed many people. Many people hated him to the bone. Now that the late emperor had passed away, there was no one to protect him. Most of the power was concentrated on the empress. If Li Yan's enemies did not support the empress at this time, they might as well go home and farm. Brother-in-law, what should we do now? LV Nyocheng, who had figured this out, was terrified. Don't worry. Fortunately, the mountains are high and the emperor is far away. They can't control this place for the time being and can't order us around. However, Li Yan's side will definitely publicize that we are with them in order to show that there are many people supporting them. At that time, we will be enemies with the empress. Therefore, we have to take the things from the empress side. Take both sides. LV Nyocheng was stunned. That's right. After taking it, we will directly publicize to the public to thank them for the gift and return it with the same standard. Husband's idea is really good. This way, we can clearly tell them that we won't help either side and won't take advantage of them. At that time, no matter who succeeds, it won't be easy for them to say anything. LV Shang suddenly figured this out and said in surprise. Yes, But we also have to be careful of the people in the imperial court who will make trouble for us. Therefore, the most important thing is to strengthen our own strength." Wang Zhong said lightly. It could be said that he now had the absolute capital to start a rebellion. He had guns and cannons in his hands and a lot of silver. Although he didn't have many soldiers, he had firearms in his hands. The number of troops was never a problem. It could be said that once he started a rebellion, there would be no pressure. But he didn't want to. Now that his family was living a good life, there was no need to fight for power and profit. It was better to spend more time with his family. After that, under Wang Zhong's arrangement, he received the gifts from the Empress. After a day, Wang Zhong prepared a big gift in return. Both sides had their own informants and knew that Wang Zhong had returned gifts from both sides. After knowing this, they analyzed that Wang Zhong didn't want to take sides. In that case, they agreed that it was not good to force Wang Zhong to become an enemy. A month later, Li Yan was killed outside by an assassin. Although the assassin was caught, it was said that the assassin was a loyal descendant who had been murdered by Li Yan and was seeking revenge. With Li Yan's death, the crown prince had lost his right-hand man and his power was greatly reduced. 10 days later, the crown prince was given poisoned wine by the empress and died suddenly. As for the crown prince's mother, she was also banished to the cold palace. In the end, it was said that she hanged herself. When the news spread to Mi City, LV Nyoching was so frightened that he couldn't sleep. Thinking back, if it wasn't for Wang Zhong, he would have received the crown prince's gifts and become his lackey. Now that the crown prince's power had collapsed, he definitely couldn't escape from the end. Fortunately, Wang Zhong ended this trouble for him. Just thinking about it made him afraid. Subconsciously, he hugged the 2 girls sent by the crown prince. "Don't be afraid, I will protect you in the future." Yes, thank you, Lord LV," the 2 girls said sweetly. LV Nyocheng was overjoyed. From then on, he didn't care about the matters in the city and focused on hugging the girls. The happy days didn't last long. Unexpectedly, before the newly appointed emperor could gain a firm foothold, the border was harassed by neighboring countries and 2 cities were taken over in an instant. Therefore, the imperial court could only recruit soldiers to support them. Wang Zhong was too far away from the illness and it didn't affect him for the time being. However, just in case, Wang Zhong started to expand the army. Now, he used Mi City as his base and recruited people from the surrounding cities to work here. In just a few years, Mi City became one of the top 3 cities in the country. Its development momentum was faintly surpassing the imperial capital. However, the imperial court didn't have time to care about Wang Zhong. They were trying their best to eliminate the threat at the border. 3 years later, the imperial court was still trying their best to resist the enemy country. However, in Mi City, LV Bai couldn't hold on anymore. Father, LV Shang and LV Nyoching knelt on the bed and cried bitterly. "I can't hold on anymore. Remember, Mi City is the root of our LV family. You must manage it well, especially you, Nyocheng. Listen to your brother-in-law," LV Bai said with difficulty. After he finished speaking, he glanced at Wang Zhong who was beside him. "Father-in-law." Wang Zhong walked over. "Susan." LV Bai looked at Wang Zhong with a complicated expression and murmured, "You've worked hard. You're too polite." Wang Zhong sighed. "Please take care of my son, Nyocheng. What did he do wrong? You must educate him well." LV Bai was a smart man. He knew that his son was useless. If he were to manage Mi City, there would be a big mess sooner or later. Now, Wang Zhong was the king here. If LV Nyocheng offended Wang Zhong, he would be courting death. Even if LV Shang was Wang Zhong's wife, in LV Bai's opinion, when comparing power and women, a normal person would choose power, right? "I know. Have a good rest." Wang Zhong nodded silently. At this moment, he couldn't say anything. LV Bai got rid of his thoughts and slowly lowered his arm. LV Bai left. After LV Bai left, the current emperor personally came to mourn. Originally, with LV Bai's status, he wasn't qualified. But who asked me city to be so powerful now? Moreover, the emperor came over because he had an important matter to discuss. After the funeral, Emperor Sun Su found Wang Zhong to ask for financial support. After years of war, the treasury was empty. There was serious internal friction, and it wouldn't be able to last much longer. He had already removed 2 grand marshals from their positions. If this continued, he was worried that the people would be unstable. Once the people's hearts were unstable, he was afraid that he would continue to lose cities. Therefore, this time, he came hoping to ask for support from Wang Zhong. He knew that Mi City under Wang Zhong's leadership was very powerful now. Minister Su, when I became the emperor of a country, I originally wanted to help the country and the people and let them live a good life. But I didn't expect to encounter such a problem the moment I took over. Minister Su, I know that you have a strong army under you. I hope that you can lend me a hand. As the emperor of a country, if he could speak so humbly to Wang Zhong, it meant that he didn't have the confidence. Okay. Wang Zhong didn't talk nonsense and agreed to Sun Tzu's request. These days, Sun Tzu stayed in the governor's mansion. Wang Zhong secretly arranged rats to spy on him. Firstly, he wanted to see what Sun Tzu was planning. If Sun Tzu was on guard against him, then he could consider rebelling. After all, he had the qualifications. Secondly, he wanted to see if Sun Tzu was an incapable ruler or an ambitious person. If he was an incapable ruler, Wang Zhong didn't plan to keep him. Fortunately, under his observation, Sun Tzu was also an ambitious person. Although Sun Tzu was worried about him, he still hoped that they could get along harmoniously. After knowing Sun Tzu's character, Wang Zhong decided to help him. As a result, Wang Zhong donated a large sum of money to Sun Tzu and gave him a few ideas. The neighboring country came over to fight. The journey was long and the consumption must be huge. Therefore, under the situation where the opponent's momentum was strong, it was not suitable to fight head-on. After being reminded by Wang Zhong, Sun Tzu exclaimed that this was a good idea. Wang Zhong was actually speechless. They didn't think of such a simple idea. It seemed that the previous grand marshals were really not good. Chapter 547. My dear Minister Su's idea is really wonderful. Why didn't I think of cutting off their provisions? Sun Tzu patted his thigh and excitedly paced back and forth. Wang Zhong lightly said, "In addition, I have a few suggestions." My dear Minister Su, please speak. Although Sun Tzu is the emperor, he doesn't put on airs. This is also the reason why Wang Zhong thinks that Sun Tzu is a good person. A person who doesn't put on airs doesn't mean that he really doesn't put on airs. But he knows that having airs doesn't mean that people will be afraid of him. Wang Zhong began to propose. At present, because of the continuous defeats on the battlefield, the morale of the army is low. The solution is very simple. Sun Tzu personally leads the army. This will not only improve the morale of the army but also show that Sun Tzu is wise and powerful. Once the morale is raised, they need to continue to recruit soldiers. But the imperial treasury is empty. Even if Wang Zhong provides support, it is still not enough. So this is the time to slaughter the fat sheep. Most of the high-ranking officials in the imperial court have countless treasures. It is time to ask them to donate money. If there is someone who is not pleasing to the eye, or who is corrupt, find some excuse to arrest them and confiscate their property. After listening to Wang Zhong's suggestion, Sun Tzu was a little worried. My dear Minister Su, is this a good idea? What if someone wants to rebel? Those people are corrupt, so they will be punished. There is nothing to say about this. Besides, you have to be fast before you act. You are now the commander-in-chief of the army. How can they rebel against you? Wang Zhong's suggestion made Sun Tzu's heart uneasy. After that, Wang Zhong proposed a compulsory soldier system. Every adult male must serve for 2 years at the age of 18. This way, the soldiers don't have to spend a lot of money. After listening to Wang Zhong's suggestion, Sun Tzu suddenly became a lot more optimistic. My dear Minister Su, your idea is very useful. It is a pity that you are not in the imperial capital. I can't discuss it with you often. Sun Tzu said regretfully. If your majesty is free, you can come and play with me. Wang Zhong smiled indifferently. Okay. On this day, the two of them chatted until late at night, and Sun Tzu benefited a lot. After returning, Sun Tzu announced that he will personally lead the army. On the other hand, he and his mother, the Empress, joined hands with several big clans and dealt with several corrupt officials. After copying these people, Sun Tzu himself was shocked. He would never have thought that the wealth of these few families would be equivalent to 2 years of the entire royal family's income. Mother, these are really fat lambs as big as the sky. After tidying up the family wealth, Sun Tzu excitedly went to find his mother. Son, you are now the emperor, how can you lose your composure like this? Sun Tzu's mother is called Shen Wan Jun. Although she is quite old, she still maintained her appearance very well. I'm talking about Imperial Mother. I've lost my composure. Sun Tzu felt a chill in his heart. He remembered that he was the emperor of a country. So many people were looking at him. He must not make a fool of himself. After that, he explained in detail the wealth he had obtained after plundering several clans. Shen Wan Jun was also surprised when she knew that the wealth of these people was equivalent to 2 years of their income. Humph, I knew they were so rich, but I didn't expect them to be so rich. This plundering was indeed the right thing to do. Son, your idea is very good. Imperial Mother, actually, this idea was not from me. Sun Tzu quickly told his mother about Wang Zhong's idea. After listening, Shen Wan Jun frowned. This Su San is actually so powerful. Yes, Mi City used to be a small city with a population of only a few 100,000. Now, with the surrounding areas, it has exceeded 1 million. Sun Tzu sighed because other than the imperial capital, Mi City paid the most taxes. This Su San is somewhat troublesome. Shen Wan Jun said. Imperial Mother, why do you say so? Su San is not weaker than us except for his military strength. I'm worried that if he rebels, it will be difficult for us to deal with him. Shen Wan Jun was indeed a strong woman. She understood the key points. He won't. Imperial Mother. Sun Tzu shook his head. This time when I went to ask for support, Su San supported me without hesitation. He also gave me advice. Imperial Mother, Su San will never rebel. This time he helped you. He has indeed shown his loyalty. But you still have to be careful. Imperial Mother, isn't my sister going to be 12 years old soon? If you are really worried, you can marry my sister to Su San. We will be in-laws with him. We will be considered as family. That's good. But isn't 12 years old too young? Yes, but she will grow up in a few years. All right. Shen Wan Jun also felt that sooner or later a girl will marry. Although she is young, if she marries Su San, at least they will be in-laws. At that time, with Su San's support, their imperial family will have a more stable footing. A few days after the confirmation, Sun Tzu personally led the army. The war went smoothly. Sun Tzu adopted the strategy of defending to the death. On one hand, he defended to the death. On the other hand, he sent out 5 groups of people to attack the enemy's grain storage. Sun Tzu calculated that these 5 groups of people did not need to succeed. They only need to harass the enemy's 100,000 soldiers. After all, there are so many people. They need a lot of grain. Without these things, how can they feed? 15 days later, sure enough, the enemy received the news that their grain was burned. For a time, the entire army was in panic. Damn Sun Tzu. He is actually so insidious. He doesn't dare to face the enemy head-on. He actually used these despicable means. After learning the news, the enemy's commander was so angry that he cursed. If Wang Zhong was here, he will be laughed to death. As a commander, he doesn't even understand that there is nothing too deceitful in war. When leading the army to war, as long as you can win, who cares if you are scheming or not? Saying such words, it shows that the people of this era are too naive. Now that their grain was cut off, after thinking about it, the 100,000 soldiers can only withdraw. As they withdrew, Sun Tzu suddenly sent troops to chase them. This is called pursuing a victory. Generally, at this time, the enemy's morale is low and they are anxious to go home. At this time, the enemy will definitely be killed. In this war, the enemy left behind 30,000 soldiers to escape. Sun Tzu won. After continuously recovering the lost cities, it was already a year later, and Sun Tzu could be said to have laid the foundation for his throne. Now, no one in the imperial court dares to disobey him. After returning to the imperial court, Sun Tzu held a celebration banquet. The first person he invited was Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong naturally went. What made him speechless is that when he met with Sun Tzu also brought an 11 or 12 years old girl. This little girl looks strange. She is very good-looking. Her pink face is chubby, but her body is not fat at all. The only drawback is that the girl's face is proud and a bit naughty. When she saw Wang Zhong, she stared at Wang Zhong as if she was looking at an enemy. Wang Zhong can't help but touch his nose. I don't think I have provoked her. Why does she seem to treat me as an enemy? However, Wang Zhong did not say anything. After a few polite words with Sun Tzu introduced her. Su Qing, this is my younger sister, Sun Daji. Hearing this name, Wang Zhong was speechless. If her surname is changed, she will be a 1,000-year fox demon. Sun Daji, you go play for a while. I will talk to Su Qing. Got it, Imperial brother. Sun Daji ran out. Su Qing, what do you think of my sister? After she left, Sun Tzu asked. Very cute. Well, although my sister is young, she is proficient in music, chess, calligraphy, painting, reading and writing. Compared to ordinary girls, she is much more powerful. Your Majesty, you said this is... Although Wang Zhong guessed the reason, he was still somewhat shocked. Su Qing, this time I can defeat the enemy, thanks to you. Unfortunately, I have nothing good to reward you, so I have decided to marry my sister to you. What? In fact, he already guessed it, but when he heard it from Sun Tzu, he was still shocked. He actually wants to marry Sun Daji to him, but she is still a child. Your Majesty, you can't do this. Miss Sun Daji is still a child, she is not suitable. Hey, Su Qing, don't be embarrassed. As the saying goes, a fair and graceful woman is a good match for a gentleman. You like her, don't think I don't know. I think you like her, right? Wang Zhong was very helpless. He continued to shake his head and said, This subject already has 4 wives and concubines. I really don't have the heart to find another one. Do you think my sister is not good-looking or something? Sun Tzu frowned. No, it's just... Since it's not, isn't it normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines? There is no need to say more. Su Qing, this is for your own good. In the future, our 2 families will be even closer. Wang Zhong understood Sun Tzu's intention in his heart. But when he thought of Sun Daji's childlike appearance, he really can't do it. Seeing Wang Zhong was still hesitating, Sun Tzu sighed. Su Qing, you don't have to worry too much. Although my sister is still young, she will be fine in a few years. When you go back this time, take her with you. After a while, we will attend your wedding. Well, this Sun Tzu is still talking to himself. After that, Sun Tzu called Sun Daji and asked her to talk to Wang Zhong, and then he went out. You are Su-san, Su Qing. You are younger than I thought. Sun Daji stared at Wang Zhong and said with some shame. Wang Zhong was a little helpless. Facing thousands of soldiers and horses, he did not change his expression. But facing the child in front of him, he really had the impulse to kick her away. My imperial brother said to let me marry you. Do you know? Wang Zhong nodded silently. I know. I know you are very happy. But if possible, please refuse my imperial brother's request. Sun Daji lowered her head and said weakly. Why? Wang Zhong originally thought that Sun Daji would be very happy to marry him. It seems that he was too confident. Because we don't know each other. Moreover, you are so much older than me. I am still a child. Sun Daji's face was filled with anger. If it was not for my imperial brother, I would definitely not agree. Actually, I refused. But His Majesty must marry you to me. Wang Zhong spread his hands, indicating that he could not refuse. Chapter 548. You refused? Am I not pretty? Hearing that Wang Zhong had actually rejected her, Sun Daji became unhappy again. Didn't you say that you don't want to marry? I don't want to marry, but I also want to share my brother's burden. As expected of a child, her words contradict each other. Wang Zhong was not in the mood to say anything else and said, "In short, if you don't want to marry, I will plead for you. When the time comes, you don't have to marry." Forget it. Sun Daji's face darkened and sighed. I accept my fate. For my brother, of course I will marry you. Don't worry, I will try to like you, but you have to promise me one condition. Tell me about it. Wang Zhong suddenly realized that this little girl was quite interesting, so he asked. I am still young and have not grown up yet. Can you wait for me to grow up and then let me have a child? This girl is thinking too much. Wang Zhong could only reply, then you can stay at my place for a while. Think about it carefully. Sun Daji nodded and felt helpless. Although this Lord Su San seems to be easy to talk to, I heard that he already has 4 wives at home. My God, he is so young and already married 4. He must be a demon. With so many wives at home, my life will be difficult in the future. Fortunately, I am a princess. I think he will give me some face, right? Sun Daji thought uneasily. During the banquet that night, Sun Su announced that Wang Zhong would marry Sun Daji. Congratulations, Lord Su. To be able to marry the princess, you will bring honor to your ancestors. Congratulations, Lord Su. When the time comes to drink the wedding wine, don't forget me. Don't forget me, I will definitely prepare a congratulatory gift for you. The court officials said politely. These people understood that the current Wang Zhong was not only the favorite of the emperor, but his power was also overwhelming. Didn't you see that even the emperor wanted to flatter him now? Moreover, the Mi city led by Su San was now one of the best in terms of economy, military, and trade. Most importantly, how old is Su San now? He should be around 30 years old. To have such ability at such a young age, his future was limitless. Sirs, you're too polite, too polite. In the face of countless flattery, what could Wang Zhong say? He could only exchange a few pleasantries. After returning to their seats, Su Xiaolan and Lu Shang continued to size Sun Daji up. Both of them were speechless. Such a young girl, she was only 12 years old, right? She was actually going to get married, and to their husband at that. Husband, are you really not going to let such a young child go? Lu Shang couldn't help but ask. Wang Zhong's face darkened. What do you mean by not letting go? Big sister Xiaochong, stop teasing husband. I'm sure husband didn't have a choice. Su Xiaolan said. Xiaolan knows me best. Wang Zhong couldn't help but sigh. I don't have a choice. However, it's still your lucky day, Su Xiaolan said. Wang Zhong. What else could he explain now? It was really hard to explain. At this moment, Su Daji walked over timidly. She held a teacup in her hand and walked respectfully in front of Su Xiaolan and Lu Shang. Daji offers tea in place of wine to the 2 of you. Seeing how timid she was, Su Xiaolan and Lu Shang both felt that this child was really young. They could tell that Sun Daji had come at the behest of her mother. Although she was a princess, she was really quite pitiful because she was going to get married at such a young age. Little girl. Su Xiaolan smiled and drank a little wine. Lu Shang also drank a little. She patted the stool beside her and said, Sit, princess. Thank you. The 2 of you are really pretty. Sun Daji's mouth was very sweet, and she directly started to flatter. Little girl, you're also very cute. After Lu Shang finished speaking, she glanced sideways at Wang Zhong and said softly, This child is so young. Don't think of having any bad ideas so early. Wang Zhong was almost speechless. He was really being implicated even when he was lying down. What are you talking about? Do you think I have that kind of fetish? Can you help me? Humph, in any case, I'm just reminding you, Lu Shang said proudly. Wang Zhong shook his head in resignation. Fortunately, Lu Shang, Su Xiaolan, and Sun Daji got along quite well. Everyone's personalities were the kind that would give in to each other, and they were also well-educated and reasonable. Thus, they all got along well. 3 days later, Wang Zhong brought Sun Daji home. Once they arrived home, Huang Daodu and Huang Xianxian hurriedly came out to welcome them. Husband is back. Hello, Sister Xiaolan. Huang Daodu and Huang Xianxian were very polite. This was what concubines should do. Husband, you still have 2 concubines. Seeing how beautiful Huang Daodu and Huang Xianxian were, Sun Daji frowned. She felt that the competition was very intense. What husband? Call me Lord. Wang Zhong reminded Sun Daji. He didn't want to be stared at strangely by others. After all, Sun Daji was too young. But, we're husband and wife. Sun Daji seemed to have already accepted her fate. She lowered her head and said, Actually, you don't have to be embarrassed. Wang Zhong was already speechless. He could only call for the servants to move Sun Daji's things into the house. The following days were quite peaceful. After Sun Daji moved in, she was doted on by the whole family because of her cute personality. With this child, the atmosphere in the house became much happier. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Now, Sun Daji was already 15 years old. She developed very quickly, and at such a young age, she was already about the same height as Su Xiaolan. This was the benefit of eating well since young. It was also during this year that what made Wang Zhong speechless was that Huang Daodu and Su Xiaolan, Lu Shang, and Huang Daodu slept alone because they were sometimes tired. Sun Daji squeezed over from time to time, wanting to sleep together. Daji, you're still young. You can't sleep with me, understand? Wang Zhong said earnestly. But we're already married. Sun Daji had already calculated. She wasn't young anymore. She could be together. Wang Zhong had no choice but to find an excuse to sleep in another room. Is it because my husband doesn't like me? That night, Sun Daji squeezed beside Su Xiaolan and Lu Shang, crying and complaining. Maybe my husband thinks you're still young. Why don't you wait a little longer? Su Xiaolan didn't know how to persuade her, so she could only say this. That's right. Let's wait a little longer, Lu Shang also said. All right then. Sun Daji felt that this was the only way. Now, she even felt that she wasn't charming enough. Another year passed. Wang Zhong suddenly realized that Su Xiaolan, Lu Shang, and even Huang Daodu would all say that they were tired at night and go to bed early. This made him very speechless. He had a feeling that they were purposely avoiding him. And every time this happened, Sun Daji would come over. Wang Zhong understood. They wanted him to marry Sun Daji. Forget it. Look at how pitiful this child is. Sigh. Wang Zhong had no choice but to sleep with Sun Daji. In the end, it was still Wang Zhong who shouldered everything by himself. A year later, Sun Daji gave birth to a chubby daughter. When the daughter's 1-month-old celebration was held, even the emperor, Sun Su, came to celebrate. Now, Mi City was very prosperous. The country was also very powerful, and the people lived and worked in peace. Wang Zhong also didn't plan to do any more business development. He was actually not someone with much ambition. Now that his life was already very good, there was no need to tire himself out too much. Now, he often took his wives out for sightseeing, strolling here and playing there. Originally, Wang Zhong thought that their family would be able to live together until they were old. However, he didn't expect that Huang Xianxian would fall sick. Although Huang Xianxian and Huang Daodu looked very similar, they were weak and sickly since they were young. Even though she often practiced martial arts, her body was still weak. This winter, Huang Xianxian fell sick in bed and had a high fever that didn't subside. Husband. Huang Xianxian held Wang Zhong's hand tightly. I feel terrible. I feel like I'm going to die. Wang Zhong's heart ached. It wasn't that he hadn't checked Huang Xianxian, but her body was still like this. The medicine was completely useless. In other words, Huang Xianxian might have been infected by some kind of virus. Fortunately, this virus wasn't contagious. Otherwise, they would have all fallen sick. Xianxian, hang in there. Daji has already gone to the palace to find the imperial doctor. Do you know the imperial doctor? They're very good. They're even better than the doctors here. They can definitely cure your illness. Huang Daodu knelt by the bed and cried. The two sisters had been very close since they were young. Seeing her sister in such pain, Huang Daodu felt like a knife was being twisted in her heart. She wanted to take her sister's place and dote on her. Sister, you're the best. As Huang Xianxian spoke, a mouthful of blood gushed out from her mouth. She couldn't hold on any longer. Daughter, my good daughter. At this moment, Huang Shechong rushed in from outside the house. There were 3 doctors behind him. They were all hired by him at a high price. Father. Huang Xianxian opened her eyes tiredly. Father-in-law. Wang Zhong stepped aside to let Huang Shechong and the doctors pass. These are famous doctors from other provinces. Take a look at their illnesses. As Huang Shechong spoke, the 3 doctors had already come to examine them. However, at this moment, Huang Xianxian spat out another mouthful of blood. Mother, don't die, don't die. Huang Xianxian's child rushed over and cried non-stop. Child. Husband, father, sister Xiaocheng. Huang Xianxian looked at them one by one. Don't be sad. I'm very happy. I'm really. Before she could finish, Huang Xianxian's arm fell to her side. Her eyes were already unfocused. Huang Xianxian was gone. This gentle and cute woman who never threw a tantrum was gone. Only her young son was left behind. Xianxian, my good daughter. Huang Shechong cried bitterly. Sister. Although Huang Daodu was strong, she was also crying at this moment. Xianxian, rest in peace. Wang Zhong slowly closed Huang Xianxian's eyes. He sighed inwardly. He naturally knew Huang Xianxian's love for him. He was also very sad about Huang Xianxian's death. 7 days later, Huang Xianxian was buried beside Su Xiaolan's house. Husband, my sister is dead. Huang Daodu cried on Wang Zhong's shoulder. Sister, I'm your sister. Son Daji comforted her sensibly. Chapter 549. Huang Xianxian's death was a huge blow to Huang Daodu. After all, she was her twin sister. Now that she was gone, Huang Daodu lost a few kilograms in the following days. In order to help Huang Daodu walk out of her depression, Wang Zhong often took her and his wives on trips to help Huang Daodu relax. A year later, Huang Daodu finally felt better. Husband, I've thought about it. Although my sister has left, she didn't want me to be unhappy. I want to live happily in the future. Late at night, Huang Daodu spoke to Wang Zhong gently. It's good that you know. Wang Zhong nodded in satisfaction. Huang Daodu finally returned to her previous lively self. Then, Huang Daodu sat on him. The next year, Huang Daodu gave birth to another child. Wang Zhong was now in his 30s. He was very happy and held a big banquet. As the years passed, what surprised outsiders was that Wang Zhong's wives were getting older and older. However, Wang Zhong still seemed to maintain his youthful appearance. Wang Zhong knew that he was a demon. His lifespan was much longer than before, so he aged slowly. It's really troublesome if this continues. Wang Zhong had no choice but to use makeup to make his skin appear older. However, his wives still found out about his makeup. Xiaolan, our husband has always been so young. Yeah, our husband must be in good health. That's why he's like this. In the bedroom, Lu Shang and the others were chatting with Su Xiaolan. Su Xiaolan knew Wang Zhong's true identity. Hearing her sister's words, she sighed internally and could only nod to express her surprise. Late at night, Su Xiaolan and Wang Zhong chatted about Lu Shang and Huang Daodu's curiosity. "I'm a demon. My lifespan is long, so I age slowly," Wang Zhong explained. "So that's the case." Su Xiaolan was happy for Wang Zhong, but she was also worried. "Why are you unhappy?" Wang Zhong asked. "Husband, I'm thinking, when we grow old, you'll be all alone. How boring will that be?" "Haha, so that's what you're worried about." Wang Zhong was impressed by Su Xiaolan's meticulous nature. "I think I'll leave this place when the time comes, right?" "Leave here?" "That's right. If I'm still here when the time comes, won't people point at me and call me an old monster? So leave this place." "Husband." Su Xiaolan snuggled up against Wang Zhong and suddenly felt a little sad. No matter how good their lives were now, no matter how happy they were, it couldn't withstand the invasion of time. Once the time was up, they would be nothing more than a cup of yellow soil. "Don't think too much. The most important thing now is to enjoy the moment. What do you think?" Wang Zhong said. "Well, you're right. What's important now is the present." In the blink of an eye, Su Xiaolan was 50 years old. Perhaps it was because she had done too much farm work when she was young, but Su Xiaolan's health was deteriorating day by day. As for Wang Zhong, he could no longer hide his youth. In order not to be seen by others, he could only reduce the time he went out. He handed over the matters in Mi City to his children. "Husband, Sister Xiaolan can't eat anymore." On this day, Sun Daji ran over and said. His other wives were already in their 50s. However, because Sun Daji was young to begin with, she was only about 35 years old now. This was the age when she was more attractive. "Why can't she eat?" Wang Zhong closed his book and asked curiously. "She said she can't eat anymore." Sun Daji was very worried. Her older sister's health hadn't been very good recently. A while ago, Huang Daodu couldn't walk and had been sitting. For this reason, Wang Zhong even invented a wheelchair for her to push around. Lu Shang was a little hunchbacked and couldn't straighten her back. It was very distressing to see her like this. Now that something like this happened to Su Xiaolan, Sun Daji couldn't help but wipe away her tears. "I'll go take a look." Wang Zhong walked towards Su Xiaolan's room. Once he entered, he saw Su Xiaolan vomiting. "Xiaolan." Wang Zhong hurriedly walked over. The maids serving Su Xiaolan all lowered their heads and hurriedly said, "Master, I don't know what's wrong with Madam. She vomits every time she eats." "How long has it been?" Wang Zhong frowned. Su Xiaolan's face was so pale. "It definitely didn't happen in the past 1 or 2 days. It's been a few days." "Bastard, why didn't you tell me it's been a few days?" Wang Zhong was furious. "Master, Madam Xiaolan said not to tell you. We didn't want to either." "You?" Wang Zhong was about to fly into a rage again when Su Xiaolan said weakly, "Husband, don't blame them." "Xiaolan, how are you?" "I don't want you to worry too much. I'm fine." Su Xiaolan smiled and said to the maids, You can leave first." "Yes." The 2 maids walked out. Only Wang Zhong and Su Xiaolan were left in the room. Su Xiaolan said weakly, "Husband, I've heard a lot of people say recently that you look very young. I'm worried that they'll discover something." "Don't worry. With my power, they won't dare to say anything. I know you're very powerful, but gossip is a fearful thing. So, I'm thinking of something." "What is it?" Wang Zhong was puzzled. "If we die, you don't have to stay here anymore," Su Xiaolan suddenly said. "What?" "Xiaolan, what do you mean?" Wang Zhong was shocked. Su Xiaolan actually had the intention to kill herself. "I'm getting old. It's time to go." "Xiaolan, don't talk nonsense." Wang Zhong held Su Xiaolan in his arms. Su Xiaolan's little hands were already full of wrinkles. "Do you still remember when I first saw you when we were young? There were a lot of rats in the house back then. You also stole food, right? I wanted to chase you away back then, but who would have thought that you'd give me money? That's right. I stole those from other places, said Wang Zhong. Back then, I liked to put you in my collar. After we grew up, I felt embarrassed every time I saw you. Wang Zhong couldn't help but laugh. That's right. Little rat, thank you. Xiaolan. If it weren't for you, I probably would have starved to death with my mother. Really, thank you so much. Su Xiaolan's voice became softer and softer. With a smile on her face, she fell into a deep sleep. Wang Zhong knew that Su Xiaolan had passed away. He couldn't help but see the scene when they were young. Su Xiaolan went to fetch water, wash clothes, and cook by herself. In order to take care of her younger brother, she saved a mouthful of food for him. This was a strong girl. It was also on this day that she reached the end of her life. 7 days later, Su Xiaolan was buried next to her mother, Zhou Chui's tombstone. Their family was finally complete. Huang Daodu was very sad. She was already paralyzed. Seeing Su Xiaolan die, she was even sadder. Late at night, she chatted with Lu Shang and Sun Daji. The two of them were very envious of Sun Daji for being so young. Back then, I also killed Li Min, who bullied me and my sister. That's how I met my husband. At that time, my swordsmanship was very powerful. Now, I can't even walk. Huang Daodu sighed. Me too. I can't even straighten my back now. Lu Shang was very bitter. He looked at Sun Daji enviously and said, Sister Daji, Daodu and I might have to leave first. Please take care of my husband in the future. Sun Daji massaged Lu Shang, and her eyes gradually reddened. What are you talking about? You'll definitely live a long life. You definitely will. Lu Shang only smiled. The three of them went to rest. Wang Zhong stood at the door and listened to the women's whispers. He quietly left. A year later, when Huang Daodu was sitting in a wheelchair and being pushed by a maid to admire the scenery, Huang Daodu was already dead. Just like that, she left without a sound. Daodu is gone. Standing in front of Huang Daodu's tombstone, Lu Shang cried bitterly. Wang Zhong blamed himself. He blamed himself for not accompanying Huang Daodu during her last days. Now that she was gone, it was too late to say anything. Suddenly, Lu Shang's head tilted and she fell to the ground. Sister Xiaochong, what happened to you? Sun Daji hurriedly helped Lu Shang up. Oh no. Wang Zhong frowned. Lu Shang seemed to have been stimulated because she was too sad. 3 days later, Lu Shang slowly woke up. But after waking up, she couldn't remember anything. She only remembered some things from when she was young. It must be a cerebral hemorrhage. After taking Lu Shang's pulse, Wang Zhong guessed. Husband, what is a cerebral hemorrhage? Sun Daji couldn't help but ask. It's a kind of illness. Wang Zhong sighed and couldn't help but stroke Lu Shang's wrinkled face. At this moment, Lu Shang suddenly woke up. She slapped Wang Zhong's hand away. Who are you? How dare you bully me? I'm going to tell my father. Because of the cerebral hemorrhage, Lu Shang's memory had deteriorated greatly. She even forgot about him. Sister, calm down. Sun Daji comforted Lu Shang. Lu Shang was old now. She didn't feel at ease running around outside. You know me? Lu Shang looked at Sun Daji strangely. Yes, have you forgotten me? It's me, Daji, your sister. Daji's sister, I forgot. I remember that my father is the city lord. His name is Lu Bai. I also have a younger brother. Lu Shang shook her head and kept trying to recall. Wang Zhong decided to go out first and let Lu Shang calm down. Daji, take care of her for a while. I'll go out. Got it. Sun Daji was no longer an insensible girl like before. She nodded and didn't deliberately let Lu Shang recall the past. Instead, she chatted about daily life. Just like that, Lu Shang's condition was very unstable and intermittent. She often wanted to go out and see how the inn was doing. She often said that she had a husband, but she didn't know who he was. Sometimes, she said that she wanted to see her children. Unfortunately, she couldn't recognize the two children standing in front of Lu Shang. Little Shang, this is grilled fish. Do you remember? It was Lu Shang's birthday at noon. Wang Zhong always remembered. In the past, Wang Zhong would personally cook a pot of grilled fish at this time every year. Lu Shang said that it was the grilled fish that made them know each other. Therefore, grilled fish was her favorite dish. This is grilled fish. I love grilled fish the most. Thank you, Susan. At this moment, Lu Shang seemed to remember Wang Zhong. The WeChat public account, Sword Without Clouds, was going to serialize the previously banned novels for free. What do you think? Chapter 550. Sun Daji carefully picked out the fish bones and placed the meat in Lu Chang's bowl. Sister Xiao Chong, eat. Yes, yes. Thank you, Sister Daji. Lu Chong smiled gently. As she ate, tears welled up in her eyes. Father. At that moment, Lu Chang's memories returned. She recalled that Lu Bai had already died and that she was already 60 years old. Husband. Lu Chong looked at Wang Zhong as if she wanted to say something, but she couldn't. Xiao Chong, rest for a while. Wang Zhong patted Lu Chang's shoulder. I'm tired. Lu Chong returned to the bed and recalled the smell of grilled fish in the house. She recalled the first time she met Wang Zhong. There had been a misunderstanding between them. For a period of time, Lu Chong even expressed that she didn't want to talk to Wang Zhong. However, in the end, they still ended up together. Although she was nervous, she was very happy in the end. I'm going to sleep first. Lu Chong was very quiet and did not make a fuss. She did not wake up again. Sister Xiao Chong. Sun Daji sobbed. Sigh. Only Wang Zhong's long sigh could be heard in the house. At that moment, he suddenly felt that Chongshou was not that happy. His lover had left, and only Sun Daji was left. After a few decades, Sun Daji was the only one left. How lonely would that be? Daji, let's leave this place. After settling Lu Chang's funeral, Wang Zhong stood in front of Lu Chang's tombstone and said, Where are we going? Sun Daji was puzzled. To the ends of the world. Let's take a look together. Sun Daji nodded slightly. After thinking for a while, she asked, Husband, actually, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. You want to ask me why I've always been so young, right? Outsiders might have seen Wang Zhong's makeup and thought that Wang Zhong was very old. However, as Wang Zhong's wives, they knew that Wang Zhong was not an ordinary person. Sun Daji had long been curious. However, Su Xiaolan had said that her husband was not an ordinary person and that there were some questions that did not need to be asked. Seeing as Su Xiaolan had already said this, Sun Daji and the others naturally didn't probe any further. Now that Wang Zhong's wife had left and she was the only one left, Sun Daji could not help but ask. Wang Zhong didn't plan on hiding anything. After all, they were going to live together in the future. If he still hid it from Sun Daji, wouldn't it make Sun Daji disappointed and mean that he didn't trust her? Actually, I'm a demon. I've lived with Su Xiaolan since I was young, and she's the only one who knows my true identity. After that, Wang Zhong briefly explained. So you are a rat demon. Sun Daji was very surprised, but she did not show any fear. The two of them had lived together for so long that they couldn't be any more familiar with each other. Even if Wang Zhong told Sun Daji that he had killed many people in the past and was a murderer, Sun Daji probably wouldn't be afraid of Wang Zhong. After that, the two of them packed up their luggage and bade farewell to their children, saying that they were going to go sightseeing. Although their children kept urging them to stay, worried that something would happen to Wang Zhong and Sun Daji at such an old age, Wang Zhong had already made up his mind. Children, your mother and I may not come back in the future after this trip. Remember, don't be greedy. Don't overdo it. Don't go overboard so that we can meet again in the future. As your father, I have nothing to teach you now. Your future lives are all up to you. Goodbye. Wang Zhong was quite assured about his children's future lives. His children had been taught very well by him, benefiting from his many lifetimes of parenting experience. Sitting in the carriage, Wang Zhong and Sun Daji left Rice City. Along the way, the two of them experienced the local customs of each city and also entered dangerous wilderness areas. Fortunately, Wang Zhong's demonic arts were profound and could easily solve all kinds of problems. Just like that, the two of them helped each other and 25 years passed in the blink of an eye. In front of Dahai, Wang Zhong supported Sun Daji, who was walking shakily. Looking at the endless Dahai, Sun Daji took a deep breath and said happily, "Old man, is this the Dahai?" "Yes, the Dahai. The Dahai of dark blue. I've only heard of it before, but this is the first time I've seen it. Husband, why are you so familiar with the Dahai?" Sun Daji sighed. "I feel that you know everything." "After all, I'm a demon," Wang Zhong said. "Yes, I want to live here in the future." Sun Daji said. "Then let's live here in the future. There's a forest in front. I'll go chop some wood and build a house. How about that?" "Yes, yes. This way, we can see the Dahai every day." Sun Daji was very happy. She was already very old and could not walk. Then, Wang Zhong went to a nearby town to buy a sickle and a machete. He skillfully built a thatched hut. Sun Daji lit up the grill that Wang Zhong had built and barbecued. The grilled fish and meat were all bought by Wang Zhong in town. Sun Daji did not know how to grill when she was young, but after traveling for so many years, she had already mastered it. "Old man, rest for a while and eat something. I'm done grilling." Sun Daji seemed to choke on the smoke and coughed violently. Wang Zhong hurriedly went over and patted her back. "Daji, sit down and rest. You're so old. Be careful." "I'm still young." Sun Daji did not seem to want to admit that she was very old. All right. You're still young." Wang Zhong smiled speechlessly and ate the grilled fish. "Not bad. Your skills have improved again." "Sai, if I can't eat your grilled fish in the future, what should I do?" Sun Daji smiled. "That's why you have to learn. You're still young. If possible, find a few more wives." Wang Zhong shook his head. "Forget it." "Why?" "If you don't like it, why did you find so many wives back then?" Sun Daji asked curiously. "Isn't it because you guys chased me?" "I can't do anything about it if I don't accept it," Wang Zhong said speechlessly. You're still pretending to be obedient after taking advantage of me." Sun Daji snorted coldly. "All right, old woman. We're already an old couple. Why are you still throwing a tantrum like a child?" "I'm not throwing a tantrum. I'm serious. I'm already so old. I'm afraid I don't have many years left. Old man, find someone as good as me to take care of you in the future." After saying that, Sun Daji couldn't help but fall into deep thought. She slowly said, "I know that you haven't married all these years to accompany me. Actually, I understand. Although I'm old, I actually understand." "Sigh, old woman, it's not that I don't want to marry, but I don't want anyone to leave my side anymore. Do you know? With you guys, I'm enough." Wang Zhong hugged Sun Daji in his arms. To outsiders, this scene might be very strange because Sun Daji looked very old, but Wang Zhong was so young. This scene was very uncoordinated, but Wang Zhong and Sun Daji snuggled together naturally and ate together. 3 days later, Wang Zhong finished building their little nest. Unfortunately, the happy days didn't last long. Sun Daji's health suddenly deteriorated and became worse day by day. "I miss home." On this day, Wang Zhong wanted to leave with Sun Daji, but Sun Daji suddenly said that. "Then let's go back," Wang Zhong said. "I want to see Sister Xiaolen, Sister Xiaochong, Sister Daodu, Sister Xianxian, and the others." "Okay, then let's go back." Wang Zhong went to town to buy a carriage. After all, Sun Daji was so old that she couldn't take it without a carriage. Wang Zhong drove the carriage while Sun Daji sat in the carriage and headed toward America. The journey was too long. It had been more than a month, but they were still quite a distance away from America. Meanwhile, Sun Daji's health had deteriorated rapidly. She couldn't even eat. "Old man, how much further?" Sun Daji asked. "We're almost there, almost there." Wang Zhong rushed through the night. He knew that Sun Daji was very weak. In order to fulfill her last wish, he had to hurry to the place where Su Xiaolan and the others were buried. "Yes, old man, I might not be able to hold on. Remember, if I die, bury me with Sister Xiaolan and the others. They took care of me the most. I'm really happy to be with them." "I know." Wang Zhong gritted his teeth, and the carriage sped up. 3 days later, Wang Zhong finally arrived at Su Xiaolan's old residence. Now, Wang Zhong's descendants had transformed this place into an ancestral hall. It belonged to the Su family. When the Su family had something to do, they would come here to pay respects to their ancestors. This was because in the eyes of these descendants, Wang Zhong and Sun Daji had long died outside after so many years. Naturally, Wang Zhong and Sun Daji's plaques were placed in the ancestral hall. This place was guarded by an old couple. Wang Zhong didn't rashly disturb them. Instead, he went to the place where Su Xiaolan and the others were buried. "Old woman, we're here." Wang Zhong could feel that Sun Daji still had a trace of life. What supported this trace of life was Sun Daji's last wish. She wanted to see her sisters one last time. He helped Sun Daji down the carriage. Sun Daji's withered legs stood on the ground. Like a 1-year-old child learning how to walk, she hobbled to the front of a few tombstones. The tombstones had clearly been repaired by the descendants. Although they weren't as good as new, at least they had an extraordinary aura. "Sisters, I'm here." Sun Daji kowtowed hard. "Daji, do you want to see our children?" Wang Zhong asked. "Forget it. If we go back at this time, we'll scare them." Sun Daji also saw her and Wang Zhong's plaques in the ancestral hall. She knew that her children must have thought that they had died outside. Moreover, from the ancestral hall, it could be seen that her and Wang Zhong's descendants were living very well. There was no need to disturb them. "Sisters, I saw Dahai. It's a pity that when my husband and I left back then, we should have brought your plaques with us. It's all my fault. I didn't think of that and didn't bring you to see him. But it's okay. I'll come down to accompany you right away and tell you what Dahai looks like." As Sun Daji spoke, her body seemed to have turned into water, and she was about to fall to the ground. Wang Zhong hurriedly supported Sun Daji. "Old woman, I'm so tired. I'll rest for a while." The wish that supported Sun Daji to come here had been fulfilled. At this moment, she had no more worries and slowly closed her eyes. Chapter 551. Sun Daji also left. Thinking back to the first time he saw Sun Daji's playful appearance, Wang Zhong couldn't help but smile bitterly. Although he was still alive, he was like a walking corpse. "Old lady, rest in peace." Wang Zhong caressed Sun Daji's face. Scenes of their youth seemed to flash before his eyes. At night, it started to drizzle. Wang Zhong returned to the carriage, took the shovel from the carriage, and began to dig. After he was done, he buried Sun Daji and erected a tombstone. The tomb of his beloved wife, Sun Daji. Su Xiaolan, Lu Shang, Huang Daodu, Huang Xianxian, Sun Daji, rest in peace. That night, Wang Zhong stayed here for a night. The next day, Wang Zhong left. First, he stayed in Mi City for a while. He was quite curious about how his children were doing. After asking around, he was very gratified. As the city lord, his eldest son empathized with the people and was an upright official. He was loved and respected by the people. The remaining children managed the factories, and the business was thriving. After so many years, the scale had expanded. The only regret was that his and Su Xiaolan's son, Huang Daodu's daughter, one died of illness, and the other died from an accident in the factory. "Sigh, this is all fate." Wang Zhong was very regretful, but there was nothing he could do. His children and grandchildren had their own blessings. In the future, his children would have to deal with their own matters. 3 days later, Wang Zhong left the city and returned to Su Xiaolan's old home. He came to the spirit spring. Because no one lived in Su Xiaolan's house, no one paid attention to the spring water here. After taking some spring water, Wang Zhong's demonic aura surged out and rushed into the spring water. Now, his demonic techniques were very powerful. He didn't need spring water to absorb energy from the demonic core in his body. However, he still didn't know where the spring water came from. Under the investigation of his demonic aura, he quickly discovered that there seemed to be a soft object under the spring water. Tai Sui fungus. Wang Zhong recognized it. Strictly speaking, he had never seen it with his own eyes, but he had seen it on TV before, so he could tell at a glance that it was the Tai Sui fungus. This Tai Sui obviously had a spirit, so when the underground water passed by it, the water also had spirit. He could imagine that in the future, this Tai Sui would definitely become a spirit, then a demon, and finally a spirit. In the future, it would be able to walk in the human world. However, the problem was that this Tai Sui might not necessarily have a good personality. Be it demons or humans, there were good and bad. In order to prevent this accident, Wang Zhong made a hand seal, and a trace of demonic aura touched the Tai Sui. I hope you'll work hard as a demon in the future. That's the only way you'll be able to acquire a boundless great Tao. That's the way to cultivate demonic arts. Wang Zhong's voice echoed around Tai Sui. With this demonic art, Tai Sui would become a great demon sooner or later. However, it was also because of this demonic art that Tai Sui was restricted from doing evil. This could be considered the last good deed he did here. After he was done, Wang Zhong left. This Tai Sui fungus was of no use to him, so he didn't need to take it. 200 years later, the current Mi city was like a huge industrial city. It was rich in steel, cloth, plastic, and all kinds of agricultural products. All kinds of raw materials from overseas, such as ores and coal, were continuously imported from Si City, which was beside Mi City. This year, the new mayor of Mi City, Su Feixiang, took over as the new mayor. On the first day of his succession, he was brought into a secret room. In the secret room, there were portraits of 5 women and 1 man. Feixiang, this is the old ancestor, Su San. The old man pointed at Wang Zhong's portrait and continued, "Do you believe that the old ancestor is still alive?" "Father, is that really the case?" "Of course. My grandfather said that back then, everyone thought that the old ancestor had passed away. However, later on, they found the tombstone of our great-grandmother, Sun Daji, beside the tombstone. This was buried by the old ancestor. The old ancestor was actually an immortal. Immortals can naturally live for a long time. This time, I called you here to tell you the secret that every mayor of Mi City should know. This is called a gun, this is called a cannon. The people outside don't know about this. With these, no one can attack our Mi City." After saying a lot, Su Feixiang became more and more surprised. "I didn't expect the old ancestor to be so powerful back then to have invented so many things." After coming out of the secret room, a woman came to welcome him. "Husband." "Yes, my wife. Let's go to the ancestral hall to pay our respects to the old ancestor." "Okay." The group came to the ancestral hall of the Su family. The woman looked at the plaque of Wang Zhong in the ancestral hall and sighed in her heart. "Master, you gave me the opportunity 200 years ago to cultivate into a human. Otherwise, I would have been a sticky thing. In order to repay your kindness, you married your grandson. You will definitely bring prosperity to the people here." As she missed him, the woman followed Su Feixiang and kowtowed. Of course, Wang Zhong didn't know about all of this. 200 years flew by. Wang Zhong had already become an old man. He didn't care about the affairs of the world in the forest. On this day, after Su Feixiang and the others left, Wang Zhong slowly appeared. His powerful cultivation allowed Wang Zhong to sense the figure of the Tai Sui next to Su Feixiang. "I didn't expect the Tai Sui to become like this. But from the looks of it, she doesn't have any ill intentions. Wang Zhong shook his head. He bent his back and came to a few tombstones. He didn't say anything and slowly revealed his true form. This was a mouse. Wang Zhong dug a hole for himself and hid in it. Gradually, he went silent. Mission character: Mao Su San. Mission objective: help Su Xiaolan live a good life. Completed. Lifespan: 266 years. Partner: 5. They are both kind and virtuous. It's a pity that they left before you. Offspring: 9. You taught them well when they were young. They will walk their own path in the future. Achievement evaluation: you have become a legend among your descendants. In the eyes of ordinary people, you are a person of virtue and prestige. Reward received: 23,432 experience points. When he woke up in the morning, Wang Zhong heaved an internal sigh. Another lifetime had passed, and he was feeling a little melancholic. But perhaps this is life. In order to prevent himself from thinking too much, Wang Zhong prepared to go to the mansion to see how the renovations were going. However, as soon as he walked out, he saw Shen Shuangshuang dressed to the nines. She turned around and saw Wang Zhong. Big brother Wang. Shuangshuang, what's the occasion today? You're dressed so nicely. Shen Shuangshuang was elated to be praised by Wang Zhong. It's my birthday today. Wang Zhong was stunned. It's your birthday? Yes. Shen Shuangshuang looked at Wang Zhong with longing in her eyes. Big brother Wang, how about, you come with me? I've invited some of my friends. Shen Shuangshuang was quite a nice person, so he was naturally going to give her some face on her birthday. All right then. Have you booked a hotel? I'll book a 5-star hotel for you. Ah, no need, no need. Shen Shuangshuang quickly waved her hand. Her heart was beating very fast. This was because she had booked an ordinary restaurant, but Wang Zhong had booked a 5-star hotel. She knew that Wang Zhong was very rich, but she felt that even if he was rich, he shouldn't spend it like this. What's wrong? You don't have to be embarrassed, Wang Zhong said. It's not that. It's just too expensive. All right then. I'll prepare other gifts later. When are we going? Let's go in the afternoon. All right then. I'll go to the mansion first. After leaving the house, Wang Zhong took a taxi to the car market. Now that he had cleared his identity and taken revenge, he had money in his hands. An ordinary person would definitely want to enjoy himself. Coincidentally, Wang Zhong's thoughts were the same as the average person's. If he had money, it would be useless if he didn't spend it. Sir, what kind of car do you need? In a 4S store, Sun Su Su was originally dozing off listlessly. In her sleep, she lamented the unfairness of fate. This was because her performance this month was very poor. Her father was seriously ill, and her mother fell in bed. Her family was in urgent need of money. However, because of her performance, she was always facing the risk of being fired. Wang Zhong was originally looking at the car. When he heard the voice, he frowned. This voice was somewhat familiar. He turned around. As expected, he was stunned. Xiu. The person in front of him, wasn't she Sun Su Su, the wife that he had married as a son-in-law? Sir. Sun Su Su looked at her name tag and touched her face. She was speechless. Wasn't it just because she was good-looking? Did he have to have such a big reaction? Sir, my name is Xiu, but this is my nickname. You can call me Xiao Sun or Miss Sunday, Sun Su Su patiently explained. Although she felt that Wang Zhong in front of her was not very reliable, what if this guy gave her a big order? Miss Sunday, in a trance. Wang Zhong reacted. This was not a game, but reality. However, the Sun Su Su in front of him was exactly the same as in reality. What exactly is going on? Sir, you're looking at the car alone? Sun Su Su asked. Yes, let me take a look. Wang Zhong nodded. Sun Su Su was a little disappointed. Because according to her experience, anyone who said they would take a look was basically not sincere to buy a car. Looking at Wang Zhong's young face, there were very few people who could afford a car at this age. Therefore, she concluded that Wang Zhong did not have any tricks up his sleeves. However, due to her professionalism, she still politely received Wang Zhong. "Sir, what kind of car do you like? Is it a comfortable car or an off-road car?" Wang Zhong came to the off-road car in the middle of the exhibition hall. This car was obviously a new model, priced at 5.3 million. "What do you think of this car?" Sun Su introduced the car with some doubts. However, halfway through the introduction, Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, "You don't have to introduce those features. I don't know much. Just tell me if you like this car." Sun Su said that this was the first time she had seen such a strange customer after more than a year of selling cars. "I like it, of course I like it." After Sun Su finished speaking, she complained in her heart, "Who doesn't like such a good car? But what's the use of liking it? I can't afford it." Wang Zhong nodded, "It's good that you like it. Buy this car. Pay up." Being rich was just that domineering, arrogant, and boring. Chapter 552. What? Sun Su was stunned again. She thought she had misheard him. "I said, I'll pay now." Wang Zhong took out his bank cards. He had a lot of bank cards with him now. Each of them was worth at least a few $100 million. There were even millions and tens of millions. Actually, he wanted to keep a low profile by buying a car that cost more than 5 million. Sun Su was stunned. "That? Sir, aren't you going to bargain?" Sun Su said that she could give him a discount. She was a kind person. She thought that Wang Zhong might be an ignorant rich kid who wanted to show off and bought a car. It was so much money. If he could bargain, she would feel better. Wang Zhong was happy. The seller was asking him to bargain. Sure enough, she was the same as Sun Su in his previous world. They were both so kind. Back then, Sun Xiuxiu had done everything herself in order to help the victims of the disaster. "Sir, Su doesn't know anything. Let me take care of you." At this time, a gorgeously dressed woman walked over. She was the top salesperson of this 4S store. She was also the manager. Her name was Monica. She gave herself a foreign name to show that she was not ordinary. Monica was a very capable woman. Otherwise, she would not have become the manager here at such a young age. She had her own little secret, which was her beauty. With her beauty, she made the boss here give her face and let her become the manager. With her beauty, she seduced the big boss who came to buy a car. She made some deals and made the big boss buy her car. Thus, she became the top salesperson. Monica did not like Sun Su. She had no choice. Before Sun Su came, the boss only liked her. The customers who bought cars also liked to deal with beauties like her. But when Sun Su came, the boss looked at Sun Su differently. So, she wanted Sun Su to leave. This time, seeing Sun Su sell a car so easily, she felt very uncomfortable, so she hurried over. "Manager, this is my guest." Sun Su frowned. Ever since she started working here, Monica's attitude towards her had been very bad. This time, they even wanted to steal her clients. She couldn't stand it. Xiu, you didn't explain it to the guest clearly enough. Let me do it." Monica smiled and moved closer to Wang Zhong. "Sir, let me introduce the car to you." She was very close to Wang Zhong. Her low-cut cleavage was almost completely exposed to Wang Zhong. Monica was very pleased with herself. She had already gone all out. How could she be afraid that this young man wouldn't take the bait? Monica was very clear about a man's mentality. "My apologies, Miss Monica." Wang Zhong glanced at the name on Monica's chest and shook his head helplessly. "I'm talking to Miss Su." In other words, he was asking Monica to leave. Monica secretly scolded Wang Zhong for not understanding the situation, but she concealed it very well. She moved closer and whispered, Sir, there's no need to rush. What's so fun about looking for her? Let's go to the hotel behind later. I really want to take a bath. Damn, are all selling cars like this now? Wang Zhong was shocked. Originally, he thought that Monica was quite pretty, but now, he felt that she was a little disgusting. Think about it, if she sold cars like this usually, how many people would have slept with her? No need. I think Miss Su Su is quite good. Wang Zhong raised his voice this time. I'm giving you face, right? If you don't shout louder, you won't leave. Monica's face froze and she laughed. Su Su, you go and receive the guest. She didn't have the face to stay any longer and turned to leave. Sun Su Su was so emotional that her face was red. She looked at Wang Zhong with eyes full of gratitude. Sir, thank you for helping me out. It's okay. But as your manager, does she always bully you like this? Sun Su Su sighed. She was not used to talking about people behind their backs. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's settle the paperwork. Wait a minute. Sun Su Su quickly pulled Wang Zhong to the side and explained. Sir, actually, I can give you a discount on this car. Sun Su Su felt that Wang Zhong was such a nice person and could let him spend less money. Okay. Wang Zhong did not reject Sun Su Su. The Sun Su Su in front of him looked very similar to his wife, but he was not sure if they were the same person. He didn't need to make it so that he didn't even need a discount. Soon, the paperwork was completed. He remembered that today was Shan Shuangshuang's birthday, and he bought a red car. It was around 200,000 renminbi. In this world, Shan Shuangshuang was the only one who knew his identity. Buying a car for her could be considered as a surprise for her. Miss Su Su, it's already noon. I bought 2 cars at once. Aren't you going to treat me to a meal? Wang Zhong smiled. Yes, of course. Sun Su Su secretly thought that she was really insensible. The two of them arranged to go to a restaurant at the back. The price was not expensive. Mr. Wang, what do you do? You're so young, but you actually bought such a good car? Sun Su Su was very surprised. My family used to be a landlord. Wang Zhong made a joke, but this was not a joke. Sun Su Su used to be a landlord. Mr. Wang really knows how to joke. Sun Su Su smiled. Miss Sun, do you know what Monica said to me before? Sun Su Su shook her head suspiciously. She really did not know. She only thought that Monica was very good at selling cars. Wang Zhong told Sun Su Su what Monica said. Sun Su Su was immediately stunned. Sun Su Su knew how beautiful Monica was. Wang Zhong actually rejected such a beauty. Why? Sun Su Su's heart thumped. There was no need to ask. It must be because of her. Could it be that he wants to sleep with me? Sun Su Su's face changed. I must strictly reject him. I wonder why Mr. Wang rejected me? Sun Su Su asked cautiously. No reason. I just don't like her. Do you usually sell cars like this? Of course not. Sun Su Su quickly said, she's the only one like this. No wonder those male customers like to look for her. So it's because of this. But she will always make things difficult for you in the future. It's very troublesome, Wang Zhong said. Yes, but there's no other way. Sun Su Su thought of her difficult family. She was a little worried. Wang Zhong originally wanted to say that she could come to him if she needed help. But after thinking about it, it was a little too abrupt to suddenly say that. Humans were very strange creatures. If you suddenly wanted to help others, it would make them vigilant and even afraid of you. You seem to have something on your mind? Wang Zhong asked. It's fine now. This time, they sold 2 cars at once. One of them was more than 5 million. The commission was quite a lot. This solved their urgent problem. After eating something, when they were about to leave, Wang Zhong asked, Su Su, can I trouble you with something? What's the matter? Sun Su Su was a little vigilant. She was really worried that Wang Zhong would have some improper thoughts. If that was really the case, she must sternly refuse. Wang Wang Zhong felt that his request was a little difficult to say, but there was no other way. It's like this. In the end, Wang Zhong decided to say it. Can you show me your waist? After being husband and wife with Sun Su Su, Wang Zhong naturally knew that Sun Su Su had a scar on her waist. He had a deep impression because at that time, Sun Su Su said that this scar was left behind when she was bitten by a dog when she was young. Wang Zhong thought that if it was really the same person, Sun Su Su must have this scar on her body. If not, then it might be two people. He didn't need to think too much. What? Sun Su Su suddenly stood up. I just want to take a look. You. How can you do this? Without waiting for Wang Zhong to finish his explanation, Sun Su Su said with a speechless face, let me tell you, I'm not like Monica. Mr. Wang, I'm very happy that you bought a car from me. But if you think that you can make me do other things, let me tell you, it's impossible. Well, she really misunderstood. But thinking about it, if he directly asked a girl if he could see her waist when they met for the first time, she would definitely think that he was being a hooligan. Su Su, listen to me, I just want to see the scar. Before he finished his words, Sun Su Su picked up her bag and left. The most important thing was that she didn't even pay the bill. Wang Zhong really wanted to grab her with one hand and tell her what he wanted, but doing so would definitely scare Sun Su Su. Now that Sun Su Su had misunderstood him, if he did this again, he was afraid that she would directly call the police. It would be difficult for him to get close to Sun Su Su in the future. Forget it, I'll slowly find an opportunity in the future. Because the car still needed to go through various procedures, Wang Zhong took the invoice and other documents and left for the time being. When he returned home, he received a message from Shen Shuangshuang. Shen Shuangshuang said that she was going shopping with her best friend. At 4 p.m., at the Dragon Phoenix Hall private room of the Hidden Dragon Hotel, they would have a gathering. Wang Zhong replied that he understood. Brother Wang, let me introduce you, this is my classmate. When he arrived at the place where Shen Shuangshuang agreed to meet, Shen Shuangshuang introduced Wang Zhong in surprise. Today was Shen Shuangshuang's birthday. In addition to her good friend Lin Shi, a few of Shen Shuangshuang's classmates also came. These classmates were Shen Shuangshuang's roommates. These roommates were all first-class beauties. In addition, these beauties' boyfriends were also Shen Shuangshuang's classmates. Hello, everyone. My name is Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong introduced himself and sat beside Shen Shuangshuang. Shuangshuang, your boyfriend is quite handsome. What does he do? A classmate who was not tall asked. This person was called She Sudong. In the past, he was a bit interested in Shen Shuangshuang. However, Shen Shuangshuang did not pay much attention to him, which made him feel very frustrated. Now, taking advantage of this birthday gathering, She Sudong wanted to see how powerful Shen Shuangshuang's boyfriend was. That's right, he regarded Wang Zhong as Shen Shuangshuang's boyfriend. After all, they looked very intimate. He wanted to compete with Wang Zhong and let Shen Shuangshuang know that although he was short and not very good-looking, he was very capable. Now, he was working in a design company. Every day he worked overtime. His monthly salary was an amazing 15,000 yuan. Moreover, he also had to pay for 2 bowls of instant noodles a day. He believed that Shen Shuangshuang would be very surprised by his ability, so he asked deliberately. Chapter 553. Me? I don't usually do anything. Wang Zhong smiled faintly at She Sudong. He, you don't have a job. If you need anything, you can tell me. My company just happens to be short of people. She Sudong said faintly. Okay, sure. His vision was now different. Wang Zhong didn't want to explain anything. Jean Lei is here. At this time, a girl who went to the toilet ran in and said anxiously. Jean Lei, the famous young master of their class, had a decoration company. At that time, the other students didn't have much monthly living expenses. Only Jean Lei had a monthly living expenses of 5,000 yuan. It was said that after graduation, He also opened a decoration company and drove a 200,000 yuan car. He was just like a small boss. Among this group of young people with no family background, Jean Lei, who was in his 20s, was really not bad. Sure enough, after hearing what the girl said, two girls who thought they were good-looking sat up straight. These were all girls who wanted to marry into good families. Wang Zhong also understood. Who didn't want to marry well? Which man didn't want to marry well? But this was a bit obvious. To Wang Zhong's surprise, Shi Sudong stood up nervously and pulled his clothes. The door opened and a man with slicked back hair and a suit walked in. It was indeed different to have some money. He came in with a woman with a straight figure. This woman was the manager here and seemed to be quite familiar with Jean Lei. Mr. Jean, I didn't expect you to come today. Do you want to send the wine you saved before? The woman followed Jean Lei and gave him enough face. Jean Lei nodded slightly. Sorry to trouble you, Sister Qin Yang. No problem. Qin Yang smiled and went to get the wine. Brother Jean, not bad. You are so familiar with the manager here. Shi Sudong flattered. It's okay. This is her shop. How about it? She has been chasing me for a long time. Jean Lei spoke with assurance. He had become the center of attention here. After Jean Lei finished speaking, he looked at Shan Shuang and smiled. Shuang, happy birthday. I haven't seen you in a year. How about it? Are you interested in working for my company? What made Wang Zhong feel strange was that Shan Shuang frowned when she looked at Jean Lei. She didn't seem to welcome this person. No thanks. I have a job, Shan Shuang said. What's wrong, Shuang? Wang Zhong asked softly. I didn't call Jean Lei over. That guy liked to bully people in school. Shan Shuang explained in a low voice. Maybe it was Shi Sudong who called him. This guy works in design, so Jean Lei Decoration Company needs him. Shuang, Brother Jin's company has opened 3 more branches. You have a bright future if you go there. Why don't you go? Shi Sudong said with a smile. No need. Shan Shuang was speechless. Okay. If you need me in the future, I'll help you at any time. Jean Lei glanced at Shan Shuang. He didn't have any thoughts about Shan Shuang. When he was in school, he pursued one of Shan Shuang's best friends. He didn't expect that Shan Shuang would catch him cheating on her, so he and Shan Shuang's best friends failed. Since then, he liked to bully Shan Shuang. They were all grown up, but he still wanted to step on Shan Shuang whenever he saw her. The dishes were quickly served. At this time, Wang Zhong went to the toilet. Just as he came out, he heard Qin Yang talking to a waitress in the corridor. Little Qin, send Jean Lei's 2 bottles of wine over later. Sister Qin, Mr. Jean is interested in you. Isn't it appropriate for you to send him? The waitress asked curiously. That Jean Lei likes to touch people. If I send him, he will definitely let me drink a few glasses. If it wasn't for the fact that he often brings guests to eat, I would have already lost my temper. Qin Yang said disdainfully. So, you send him. Just say that I'm serving other guests. Okay, Sister Qin. The waitress left. Qin Yang turned around and turned a corner. She was instantly stunned as she saw Wang Zhong at the corner. She knew that Wang Zhong and Jean Lei were at the same table. Didn't he hear everything she said just now? That, you're here. Qin Yang smiled awkwardly. This woman was quite good-looking. She was the mature type. She rolled her big eyes and quickly pulled Wang Zhong. Little brother, you scared me. Just now you... I heard everything. Wang Zhong wanted to see this woman's reaction. He felt that it was quite interesting. Jean Lei bragged that Qin Yang pursued him, but in fact, Qin Yang didn't put him in her eyes. How about this, come to my office. Qin Yang secretly scolded herself for talking too much. She used to be very careful with her words. Why was it like this time? She could only blame herself for drinking a few glasses. She didn't know that Wang Zhong and Jean Lei were actually unrelated. She only thought that they were good friends. Later on, Wang Zhong would definitely tell Jean Lei. Jean Lei took care of a lot of business here. She didn't want to offend him. So, she wanted to pull Wang Zhong into her office, hoping to give him some benefits so that he would shut up. Miss Qin, what's the matter? Wang Zhong entered the office and looked around. I just drank a few glasses. Can you not say those things to Jean Lei? If you can, next time you bring someone over for a meal, it's free of charge. After saying this, Qin Yang's heart was bleeding. The restaurant business was very competitive now. Giving out a meal for free was really a loss. But if she didn't do this, why would he keep your secret? Wang Zhong smiled and said, "You're quite courteous. However, I have other requests. How much do you want?" The woman in front of him made Wang Zhong have an impulse. He was also a normal man. Since he was in prison, he had been living like a monk. He had wanted to do that for a long time. Although there was a Shen Shuangshuang at home, she was like a friend. He couldn't bear to hurt her. As long as it was an outsider, it was fine. "Sir, please have some self-respect." Qin Yang's pretty face changed. This bastard actually said that. What did he take her for? Although she said that, Qin Yang thought in her heart, the rent here is coming soon. The rent is 250,000 yuan. But recently there was a car accident and she lost a lot of money. She didn't have any money in her hands. 100,000 yuan? Looking at Qin Yang's evasive eyes, Wang Zhong knew what was going on. "Please leave." Qin Yang snorted, but she didn't make a move. She even thought that it would be better if she added a little more. 200,000 yuan? Qin Yang was even more angry. "Why are you still here?" 300,000 yuan. "If you don't want it, I'll leave immediately." This restaurant was only a medium-sized restaurant. Wang Zhong estimated that it was good enough to give her this much. Qin Yang was stunned, and hesitation flashed in his eyes. But at this time, Wang Zhong came over domineeringly. Don't. Her resistance became an itch. Successful transfer. 100,000 yuan. 20 minutes later, the crisp female voice of the cashier came out of Qin Yang's phone. Qin Yang's face was indescribably awkward. She felt like she was making a deal. Actually, she was making a deal. She glanced at the phone and was suddenly stunned. Because Wang Zhong's phone account showed that there were a lot of zeros. Tens of millions of yuan. Qin Yang didn't expect that this unremarkable young man in front of her was actually so rich. She was a little regretful. She should have been more reserved just now. If things didn't go well, she could have asked for more money. But it was too late to say anything now. Qin Yang knew that after she acted like this, the other party would definitely lose interest in her. Wang Zhong sighed in his heart. This Jean Lei chased after her for so long but failed. He didn't expect it to be so easy to win her over. Patting Qin Yang's shoulder, Wang Zhong said, "Okay, we're even now. Go and wash up." Without leaving a trace, Wang Zhong left the place. "Where did you go? What took you so long?" Entering the private room, Shan Shuangshuang was a little drunk and asked. "Well, he left for 20 minutes. It seemed that Shan Shuangshuang had been forced to drink a lot. "Take a dump," Wang Zhong said. "Shuangshuang, a present for you." "Shuangshuang, happy birthday. Take a look at the present." Several friends handed over their presents one after another. The presents weren't very expensive. Some were ordinary bags and some were ordinary earrings. Birthdays were sometimes like this for ordinary people. There was no need to puff oneself up at one's own cost. Jean Lei's present had already arrived. It was 2 bottles of good wine. Shi Sudong gave a red packet of 88 yuan. He was secretly proud. When he was in school, everyone gave 8 yuan. Now he gave 88 yuan. Shen Shuangshuang must be very happy. Thinking of this, he saw that Wang Zhong didn't take a present. He asked Wang Zhong, "Friend, where's your present?" Wang Zhong dug into his pocket and suddenly slapped his head. He was too excited in Qin Yang's office just now. At that time, he had dropped his car keys and forgot to pick it up. "I'll go and get it." Just as he got up, Shi Sudong said, "Don't tell me you didn't prepare it and want to go out to buy it?" These words didn't sound good. It seemed that Shi Sudong was really drunk. Shen Shuangshuang said, "Brother Wang, let's talk about it when we go back." "It's okay. I left it in the office." But at this time, the door opened. Qin Yang came to Wang Zhong with a strange look. "Sir, you forgot your car keys." "Yes." Wang Zhong nodded. He didn't think much. He took the key and handed it to Shan Shuangshuang. "Here, this is a present for you. This car cost 260,000 yuan. "What, you gave me a car?" Shen Shuangshuang was stunned. Qin Yang, who gave the key, had a strange look. She was sure that Shen Shuangshuang and Wang Zhong must have an affair. Otherwise, how could he be so generous and give her a car? For a moment, she couldn't wait to replace Shen Shuangshuang's position. In fact, she took the initiative to give the car keys. Wasn't she trying to get close to Wang Zhong? But when she saw that Wang Zhong had a female companion, she felt that her hope was slim. However, thinking that she had already done that with Wang Zhong, she gritted her teeth, picked up the wine glass and said to Wang Zhong, "Sir, I'll toast you." "Yes." Wang Zhong nodded and drank the wine. Jin Lei originally wanted to wait for Qin Yang to take the initiative to toast him, but he didn't expect him to drink with Wang Zhong first. Not only that, Qin Yang raised his glass and said, "Happy birthday to Miss Shen. Let's drink together." "That's it? She didn't want to drink with me?" Jin Lei's face was a little embarrassed. Chapter 554. After drinking, Qin Yang left without saying goodbye to Jin Lei. In Qin Yang's opinion, Wang Zhong might look for him again in the future. He must leave a good impression in front of him. At least, he must let him think that he was a reserved person. Why did he do that? It was simple. Wang Zhong's phone balance was more than 10 million. For such a rich man, being too proactive would make him look cheap. Then, he would look down on him. So, he must be cold to others. Towards Wang Zhong, he must also keep a distance. She had just found out that this rich man was called Wang Zhong. Sitting in the office, Qin Yang was thinking about how to get close to Wang Zhong. At this time, a girl in a waitress uniform walked in. The girl was very delicate and pretty, but she was unusually thin. "Ah, ah, ah." The thin girl came in and gestured in front of Qin Yang. Qin Yang sighed. The girl in front of her was brought from her hometown. Her parents died when she was young. She was raised by an old woman who picked up scraps. When she grew up, the old woman saw that she could not speak. Finally, she went to the hospital to check and found out that she was mute. She followed the old woman's surname, He. It meant that the two of them depended on each other. However, because she was poor and mute, many people called her Mute Girl or just called her Mute. "Ah, ah, ah." The mute girl gestured anxiously. She took out her second-hand phone and typed a line of words. "Grandma is sick." Qin Yang frowned and asked, "How much does it cost?" The mute girl stretched out 2 fingers and opened her mouth. 2,000. Qin Yang was relieved. If it was only 2,000, he could get it from the mute girl's salary in advance. But the mute girl shook her head and said with all her strength, 20,000. "What? 20,000. Qin Yang was a little unhappy. She really sympathized with the mute girl. They were all from the same village. She saw that the mute girl was so pitiful, so she let her work here. Her salary was 3,000 a month, which was the same as a normal person's salary. But to get an advance of 20,000, she was also a little helpless. "Sister, sister." The mute girl walked over and cried. She shook Qin Yang's arm and begged Qin Yang to lend her money. If she hadn't met Wang Zhong before, Qin Yang wouldn't have lent her money no matter what. This restaurant was her life's work. Now that the rent was due, it would be troublesome if she didn't have the money to pay the rent. But just now, because she was forced by Wang Zhong. That's right, until now, she was certain that she was raped. As for taking the initiative to take out the QR code to collect the money, well, he was also forced. No matter what, she had already received the money. The rent was 250,000 yuan, and she had received 300,000 yuan, so there was still an extra 50,000 yuan. She wanted to have dinner with the employees to celebrate, but since the mute girl was like this, she gritted her teeth and said, "Okay, I'll give you 20,000. Save it, understand?" Ah. The mute girl cried and nodded repeatedly. Her eyes were filled with gratitude. Wang Zhong and the others quickly finished their meal. Now, no one dared to look down on Wang Zhong. After all, there weren't many people who could give a car as a birthday gift. Even a few of Shen Shuangshuang's best friends secretly winked at Wang Zhong, hoping to get Wang Zhong's favor. When the time came, they would pretend to say that it was their birthday. Maybe Wang Zhong would also give them a car as a gift. To be honest, they were dreaming. It was drizzling outside. Shan Shuangshuang called for a taxi and waited at the intersection with Wang Zhong. At this time, Wang Zhong noticed a familiar figure coming out of the restaurant. The figure got on an old bicycle and rode in the rain. For a while, Wang Zhong couldn't remember who the figure was, but it was really familiar. "Brother Wang, the car is here." "Okay." Wang Zhong didn't think much and got into the car to go home. 3 days later, the procedures for the car were finally completed. After Shan Shuangshuang drove her car, she was so excited that she almost jumped up. She was so happy that she had her own car for the first time in her life. Although it wasn't a luxury car, at least she didn't have to ride an electric scooter in the rain anymore. She would also have a car in the future. What surprised her was that Wang Zhong's car was even more domineering. It was a luxury car that cost more than 5 million. This almost gave her a shock. But thinking about it, Wang Zhong was so rich. This car cost more than 5 million. It was not worth mentioning to him. After getting the car, Wang Zhong's mind was now on Sun Su. He really wanted to find out if Sun Su really had that scar on her waist. Although Sun Xiuxiu had made this big deal, which made her a lot more financially comfortable, due to her lack of work experience, she had gone to discuss with clients several times, but she had returned empty-handed. "The sun is so strong today. The car outside is especially hot. My delicate skin is going to be tanned." Sun Su stood outside the car and held a rag. She wanted to cry but had no tears. "I want a boss to hold my little hand and see through my stubbornness." Originally, she was chatting with a client, but she didn't expect that the client would go directly to Monica and order 2 cars at once. God, 2 cars at once. Both of them cost more than 200,000. Then, just now, Monica went out with the 2 of them. She didn't know where they went. After that, the boss came out and taught them a lesson. He said that they should learn from Monica and easily got 2 orders. Sun Xiuxiu actually understood how Monica managed to clinch the deal. It was all because she had accompanied them to the threesome. She felt that this path was getting more and more confusing. Then, because there was no business in the shop, the boss asked them to come out and clean the new cars. There were not many cars left. The main reason was that the car industry was not doing well now. The boss did not want to squeeze too much stock. She even heard from some old employees that the boss was not going to open the car shop anymore. Sun Su pouted and cleaned the car. As she cleaned it, she thought about what to do next. She didn't have much work experience after graduating from university. She didn't graduate from a good university and couldn't find a good job at all. After thinking about it, she felt that she could only try her luck as an intern in some companies. Although an intern's salary was low, she could become a full-time employee in a few months. At that time, as long as she did well, it would be good. "You're cleaning the car." Suddenly, a voice came from behind. "Mr. Wang." Sun Su recognized Wang Zhong's voice. "You're here." In her heart, Sun Su didn't have a good impression of Wang Zhong. After all, Wang Zhong said that he wanted to look at her waist. But after all, he was the person who solved her urgent problem. So, she had to be polite. Aren't you in charge of selling cars? Why are you cleaning cars? The sun was so hot outside. Sun Su Su was sweating profusely. After wiping her sweat, Sun Su Su explained, "The sales of the shop aren't doing well. The boss might be in a bad mood, so he asked us to clean the cars." I see. I thought the business was doing well. How is it good? Other than Monica selling cars fast, the others are just as so. The boss is preparing to close the shop. It's closed. Wang Zhong suddenly had an idea. "Mr. Wang, you're here because..." After saying that, Sun Su Su looked at Wang Zhong with a strange expression. She was a little wary. She felt that Wang Zhong had taken a fancy to her. Although Wang Zhong was young and rich, it seemed like a good thing to be pursued by him. But he was so rich. Why would he take a fancy to her? What if he was just fooling around? She wasn't a little girl who didn't know much about the world. In school, she had seen with her own eyes some beautiful girls who were fancied by some rich second-generation heirs. They got pregnant and dumped. Many of the girls had good grades, but they dropped out of school early. Some even gave up on themselves and went to bars to become salespeople or prostitutes. They didn't end up well. Because of this, Sun Su Su was very wary of Wang Zhong's initiative. "I'm here to understand some things." Originally, Wang Zhong wanted to say that he was here to see her. But after seeing Sun Su Su's vigilant look, Wang Zhong decided to change his words. "Understand what? When I came to buy a car the other day, I was quite interested in your 4S store. So I wanted to ask if your boss was interested in selling it." He really wants to sell it, but I advise you not to buy it. The business here isn't good." Sun Su Su was also kind. She thought that no one's money came from nowhere. Wang Zhong's wasteful spending was a bit of a prodigal. "Oh, you're concerned about me?" Wang Zhong smiled faintly. "Business is done by people. At least I'm not losing money now. This means that there's still hope for business to improve." In order to understand Sun Su Su, spending a bit of money was nothing. After leaving, Wang Zhong found the boss of the 4S store. The boss was called He Jianda. He was a slightly plump, middle-aged man. When he heard that Wang Zhong wanted to buy this place, he was immediately interested. This was because he knew that Wang Zhong had the ability. Didn't Wang Zhong buy 2 cars a few days ago? If he didn't have a net worth of tens of millions, he wouldn't have the ability to buy such a luxury car. Although he was rich, Wang Zhong didn't want to be played like a fool. He found Lu Jelly's legal team and used 5 days to calculate the assets of this 4S store. In the end, he calculated that this place, excluding the new cars, was worth 15 million yuan after deducting the expenses of the staff. This sum of money included rent, renovation, landscaping, and other miscellaneous expenses. To be honest, this money was quite expensive. This was because from He Jianda's point of view, he didn't lose money. If he didn't lose money, then he was the seller, so he wasn't in a hurry. Wang Zhong didn't even think about it and agreed to buy it. The rest of the cars were also bought. There were a total of more than 60 new cars. After buying it, to be honest, Wang Zhong didn't know how to run this business. However, it didn't matter. The previous staff didn't change. Everyone was still doing their jobs. This made some of the people who were ready to jump ship feel relieved. They secretly thought that they wouldn't be fired. The most surprised person was Monica. The previous customer became her boss. The key was that she said those words to Wang Zhong. "Monica, come to my office for a while." On Wang Zhong's first day of work, seeing that Monica was fine, Wang Zhong called her into his office. Sure enough, all men are the same. Seeing this scene, Sun Su Su despised in her heart. Chapter 555. From Sun Su Su's point of view, why did Wang Zhong ask Monica to go to his office for no reason? Wasn't it because of that? The previous boss was like this. He would ask Monica to go in from time to time, saying that it was an exchange of experience in selling cars. From her point of view, it was because of driving experience. At this time, Monica's thoughts were actually the same as Sun Susu's. 2 days ago, she came to buy a car and pretended to be something. Now, it was not the same. Humph, but it was good. This boss called Wang Zhong was at least more handsome than the old man. It was not a loss for her to serve him. If I serve him well, it would be best if he gave me a raise. No, no, no. Monica, you are too useless. In the past, the old man had a wife and I had no choice but to play with him. But this young boss is obviously single. Such a capable young man. I can totally be the lady boss here. Monica's plan was very good. Unfortunately, after she went in, Wang Zhong only told her to work hard. If she did well, she would get a raise in the future. In addition, he asked about the advantages and disadvantages of working in this place to increase work efficiency and improve service quality. Since she had taken over this place, she had to work hard. This was Wang Zhong's idea. As for Monica's character, what a joke. She was selling cars for him. If every employee could be as dedicated as Monica, the boss would only be happy. Well, I have said what I wanted to say. You can leave now. Later, call Sun Susu to come over. Wang Zhong waved his hand. Monica wanted to say, "That's it." She was a little disappointed. She thought she could be the lady boss. But Wang Zhong's behavior just now had shown that he was not interested in her. Instead, he seemed to have a soft spot for Sun Susu. It seems that I can't bully Sun Susu in the future. Otherwise, I am afraid I will not have a good ending. Monica was a smart person. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to do so well here. After she went out, she said to Sun Susu kindly, "Susu. Manager, what's the matter? Look at you, why are you calling me so formally? Just call me Monica. By the way, the boss wants you to go in. He has something to talk to you about." "What is it?" Sun Susu felt strange. Monica had only been in there for about 10 minutes. Could it be that Boss Wang was so fast? "You'll know once you go in. It's definitely something good," Monica guessed. How could it not be a good thing to be chosen by the boss? Sun Susu entered the office skeptically. Wang Zhong crossed his legs and said, "Susu, sit." "Mr. Wang, what's the matter?" Sun Susu was not used to the change in status. "Xiao, I've seen your performance. It doesn't seem too good," Wang Zhong said indifferently. "President Wang, I will try my best," Sun Susu quickly said. "Is that so?" Looking at Sun Susu's nervous expression, Wang Zhong felt funny. Initially, he wanted to give Sun Susu a raise or a promotion. But after thinking about it, he felt that it was too abrupt. Besides, it was not suitable. Everyone needed to be trained. Sun Susu's ability was not good now. If he asked her to do something that was beyond her ability, it would be counterproductive. So, he decided to give Sun Susu some pressure. "Logically speaking, you should have been fired long ago. But I've decided to give you one last chance. It's useless for us to keep guarding this shop. We have to take the initiative. President Wang, what do you want to do?" Sun Susu was curious. "It's very simple." Then, Wang Zhong started to explain. His plan was simple. That was to drive the car to some roads with a lot of traffic and do some promotions. Low down payment loans, 3 years of maintenance for the car, 30,000 repair coupons for the car. In short, he thought of a lot of promotion methods. Perhaps, if he did this, his profits would be lower. But, it was better to earn less than nothing. Moreover, he had asked someone to calculate. Although the profits of the bicycle would be lower, the number of sales would increase, and he would make a lot of money. He wanted to let Sun Susu do it. It could be considered as training her business ability. "I'll leave this sales plan to you. Immediately contact an advertising company. When the time comes, you can choose a suitable location for the promotion. I'll give you 7 days. How about it?" "Okay." Sun Susu gritted her teeth. She felt that the pressure was not small. "Well, if you don't have any results by then, it means that you're not suitable for this line of work. You should find another way. Wang Zhong stared into Sun Susu's eyes and said, I know. Sun Susu felt helpless. By the way, can I see your waist? After saying that, Wang Zhong could not help but ask again. President Wang, although you're my boss, but don't be like this. I'm not that kind of person. Fine, it was a misunderstanding again. I'll go out first. Without waiting for Wang Zhong's reply, Sun Susu ran out as if she was escaping. Wang Zhong did not have time to call Sun Susu because a system notification appeared in front of him. Ding! Successfully unlocked 2 newly reborn creatures. Creature 1. Actress Xiao Dai. Mission objective. I'm so beautiful, kind, cute, and curvy. But why is life so miserable for me? My stepfather wants to molest me, my neighbor Lao Wang wants to touch me, the girls at school are jealous of me, and the boys pester me. It's so hard. I want to be strong, and not be bullied by anyone. Creature 2. Honest Man Li Tuesday. Mission objective. I'm an honest man. My name is Li Tuesday. I used to be a delivery man, an ordinary honest man. I didn't expect that a phone call would change my life. I inherited a huge inheritance, more than 100 million. I became a millionaire. But a rich life did not bring me happiness. The goddess who ignored me in the past took the initiative to approach me. My so-called good brothers also took the initiative to approach me. My biological father who didn't want me since I was young took the initiative to approach me. But I was too honest. It was only when they cheated me of all my money that I realized that they were after my money. In the end, because I didn't have money to go to the hospital, I died of illness. I regret it. I shouldn't have been so honest. I don't want to be an honest man. I want to be a scumbag. I want to be a big scumbag. I want to take revenge on those who look down on me. I want them to know that I'm not easy to bully. Damn, aren't these 2 quests a little too weird? Wang Zhong was speechless. There was no need to look at the first mission. She transmigrated and became a girl. She seemed to be a heartthrob. Unfortunately, although she came from a good family, her luck was not good. She was bullied by her stepfather, her neighbor Lao Wang, and the school's hooligans. Sigh, so pitiful. If it was possible, Wang Zhong really wanted to help her. But transmigrating and becoming a girl made him feel uncomfortable. The second mission was simple. The original owner was an honest man. Honest people were rare these days. Looking at the introduction, it seemed a little weird. He had already inherited 100 million. Just the interest alone would not be enough to spend it all. But it was all cheated. Wang Zhong wanted to play the second game. With his methods, not only would he not be cheated of this 100 million, he would also use this money to start a business. He might even become a millionaire. After closing the system, Wang Zhong prepared to take a break. Continuous games could easily cause mental stress. He wanted to release some of his energy and relax. Today, he relaxed a little on the body of the restaurant's lady boss, Qin Yang. He wanted to continue, but there was no one around him. Although Monica would come over with a hook of her finger, she was too dirty. Wang Zhong was also a person with principles. As for Sun Susu, he could not touch her. This girl's personality was the same as in the game. She was a person with principles. She would only touch her husband. So, Wang Zhong did not want to force her. Shaking his head, Wang Zhong decided to endure it. Ring ring ring. While he was thinking, his phone rang. He looked at it. It was Shen Shuangshuang. After answering the phone, Shen Shuangshuang told him that Jean Lei was treating them to a meal at Qin Yang's restaurant. You are classmates. Why did you call me? Wang Zhong was puzzled. It's like this. This meal was treated by the lady boss, Qin Yang. She said that she would treat Jean Lei, an old customer. I don't know why she invited us. Maybe it's because we were together last time? Wang Zhong was not convinced by Shen Shuangshuang's guess. He guessed that Qin Yang's purpose was to look for him. Originally, he did not plan to go because it was boring to eat with Shen Shuang's classmates. But since there was a scumbag mission this time, he wanted to experience the feeling of being a scumbag in advance. So, Wang Zhong nodded and agreed. At night, he took Shen Shuang's car to the restaurant. His car was too luxurious. Wang Zhong did not want to be too high profile. Jean Lei was in a good mood today. Qin Yang, who he had been pursuing, actually took the initiative to call him and invite him to a meal. Although on the phone, the other party meant that those who had eaten with Shen Shuang that day would come over for a meal together. It seemed that the other party was not specially inviting him, but inviting others. But this did not prevent him from showing off in front of his friends. People were vain. Everyone gathered again after a long time. This time, everyone was polite to Wang Zhong. People were like this. The stronger you were, the more respect you would have. Now, even Jean Lei was polite to Wang Zhong, not to mention Shi Sudong, who kept calling him Brother Wang. Everyone is here. Is today's dish to your taste? Halfway through the meal, Qin Yang came in. As soon as she came in, the eyes of all the boys present lit up. She was too beautiful, right? Today, Qin Yang was wearing a strapless skirt. The skirt was not high, but it was just a little above the knee. It was not immoral, but it was also suggestive. She was really dressed very well. The dishes are very good, very good. Seeing that Qin Yang was so good-looking, Jean Lei was suddenly excited. Qin Yang came in at this time. It must be because of him. But what made him frown was that Qin Yang did not look at him at all. Instead, her eyes looked at Wang Zhong from time to time. What made him want to vomit blood was that Wang Zhong did not look at Qin Yang. After eating for a while, Wang Zhong got up and went to the bathroom. At this time, Qin Yang also got up and said that she was going to prepare a few more dishes. When they just went out, Wang Zhong said softly, "Go to your office. I want to talk to you about something." "What's the matter?" Qin Yang asked knowingly. She knew that if she wanted a man to be interested in her at all times, she could not be very proactive. Wang Zhong said lightly, "You asked us to come over for dinner tonight. Didn't you want to look for me?" "What are you talking about?" Qin Yang's face turned red. She snorted and said, "You forced me to do what I did that day." Chapter 556. Looking at Qin Yang's flushed face, people who didn't know the situation would think that it was real. "All right then. Let's go to your office and have a chat, okay?" Since Qin Yang liked to act, Wang Zhong decided to let her do as she wished. Qin Yang nodded. "Okay. We are just going to have a chat." "Okay." What a joke. Once you go in, you won't have the final say. Wang Zhong thought in his heart. After entering the office, Qin Yang sensibly closed the door and locked it. However, he still said coldly, "Say it." "What do you want to say?" "I'll tell you. Don't even think about doing anything to me. People like you can forget about trying to do anything to me." Wang Zhong was speechless. It was a waste of talent for this woman not to be an actress. Then, Wang Zhong grabbed her. Another 20 minutes later, Qin Yang was waiting for Wang Zhong to transfer the money. She didn't expect Wang Zhong to leave. This was different from what she had imagined. "Wait." Qin Yang stood in front of Wang Zhong. "What's wrong? How dare you treat me like that? You. Qin Yang wanted to ask if Wang Zhong had forgotten something. But she couldn't say it. "Oh, look at me. I forgot. Take out your phone." "Humph. How dare you treat me like that again? You bastard. You said that you were just going to have a chat." Qin Yang was still acting cool. Wang Zhong didn't want to bother with her. What a scumbag. Money earned. Successful transfer of 300 yuan. Qin Yang was stunned. Why was it 300 renminbi? She wanted to ask, but Wang Zhong had already opened the door and left. She hadn't lifted her skirt yet. So, she couldn't chase after him. Looking at the pitiful 300 renminbi on her phone, Qin Yang felt cheated. What does he think I am? This scumbag. He lied to me. After leaving the room, Wang Zhong felt refreshed. The taste of being a scumbag was pretty good. At this moment, Qin Yang was probably about to faint from anger. Big brother Wang, why did you take so long? After drinking a few mouthfuls of red wine, Shan Shuangshuang became curious. She noticed that there was a smell on Wang Zhong's body. It was the smell of Qin Yang's perfume. My main account, Wang Zhong still answered. Shen Shuangshuang suddenly lost her appetite and felt that she shouldn't have asked. After a while, Qin Yang came back with a bad expression. Miss Qin, where have you been? Jin Lei stood up and asked with concern. He had no idea what his goddess had just experienced. He went to entertain the other guests. Qin Yang waved her hand and didn't even look at Jin Lei. Then, she took a deep breath and told herself to calm down. She had to calm down now. This time, she did not agree on the price before entering the office. This was her fault. Yes, it was like this. But if Wang Zhong thought that she would be so easy to talk to, then he was gravely mistaken. Miss Qin, thank you for treating us to dinner. Shen Shuangshuang stood up politely. Wang Zhong smiled and raised his glass. Miss Qin is too polite. We will come here often in the future. Listening to Wang Zhong's words, he felt that something was strange. Qin Yang didn't look at Wang Zhong and raised her glass to the others. Everyone, let's drink. After more than half an hour, the meal was almost finished. Everyone left one after another. Wang Zhong and Shen Shuangshuang had just walked to the door when Qin Yang chased after them and shouted, Mr. Wang, you forgot something. Forgot something? I don't remember forgetting. Wang Zhong turned around and said. Qin Yang's face turned pale. Come and take a look. Okay then. Wang Zhong calmly walked over and walked to the staircase with Qin Yang. Why did you give me 300 yuan? What do you think I am? Qin Yang said angrily. Wang Zhong touched his nose and said, No, if you don't want it, you can transfer it to me. Do you believe that I will call the police? Okay, you can call the police. Anyway, you have surveillance cameras here. The police will see that you brought me in. I have already transferred the money to you. 300 yuan. Just treat it as the service fee. We will both go in anyway. I am not afraid. I am just worried about you. TSK, TSK, TSK. You are a virgin, right? You don't have a boyfriend or a husband. Your reputation will be ruined. These words were simply too much for Qin Yang to handle. Scumbag. After a while, Qin Yang said angrily. But she could only scold him. She couldn't do anything to change anything. Okay, I know you want 300,000 yuan. But think about it. Last time, you had plum blossoms. Now they are gone. So, this is the only price. Be *starred, scumbag. You will die a horrible death. Qin Yang shouted angrily. Wang Zhong laughed and turned to leave. Brother Wang, why did Miss Qin look for you? Shan Shuangshuang asked curiously when they got into the car. Nothing. She said that you are welcome to come again. I see. Miss Qin is so nice. Shen Shuangshuang smiled. Let's go. When the car started and turned the corner, Wang Zhong suddenly noticed that there was a waitress busy in the restaurant. He suddenly frowned. From this position, he could only see the side of the waitress's face. It seemed very familiar. Brother Wang, do you have something on your mind? Shen Shuangshuang felt strange. Wang Zhong had been absent-minded since he got into the car. Nothing. You must be thinking about the car market. Recently, the company is considering purchasing a batch of cars. I will help you in the company. Shen Shuangshuang said sensibly. Okay, thank you. How is your work? It is okay. It is just some administrative work. It is quite easy, but the salary is a little low. Shen Shuangshuang said helplessly. Really? If you are not satisfied, you can work in my car market. Wang Zhong said casually. His mind was still thinking about the figure in the restaurant. This figure was very familiar. It was the figure of the mute girl. Unfortunately, the car drove out and the figure went in. He did not see it again. Is it the mute girl? Wang Zhong remembered the way the mute girl spoke in the game. Abba Abba. The next day, Wang Zhong went to the restaurant. Unfortunately, he did not see the mute girl again. As the 4S store was busy, Wang Zhong went back first. Sun Su Su found the boss of an advertising company and planned a promotion. First, they designed a billboard. Then, they looked for a promotion location. The location was at the entrance of a supermarket. The other party provided the location. Sun Su Su paid 1,000 yuan a day to rent the place. She was prepared to rent it for half a month. 5 days later, the promotion was very effective. Sun Su Su could sell 2 to 3 cars every day. One day, she sold 6 cars. Sun Su Su was so happy that she could not eat. Seeing Sun Su Su so happy, Wang Zhong was also happy for her. For this, he prepared a seaside trip. He thought about it. It was impossible to force Sun Su Su to show her small waist. Then, everyone would go to the seaside. When they reached the seaside, everyone put on their cute swimsuits. He did not believe that he could not see it. In the office, Wang Zhong showed a gratified smile. Dong dong dong. Someone knocked on the door. Wang Zhong shouted, "Come in, boss." It was Monica who came in. She was very unhappy these few days. She used to be the gold medal salesperson. Who could compete with her? But these days, Sun Su Su's sales had surpassed hers. She was very smart. She could tell that Wang Zhong did this specially to take care of Sun Su Su. The other employees could not see it. When Sun Su Su received this promotion task, she thought it was a hard job. She was the only one who could see it. Wang Zhong deliberately provided Sun Su Su with an opportunity. "Monica, what's the matter?" Wang Zhong tidied up the documents on the table. He did not even raise his head. "Mr. Wang, it's like this. There is not much business in the store these days. I want to volunteer to help with the promotion." "Oh, is that so?" "Yes, I also want to sell more cars." "Don't worry, Mr. Wang. I will work hard." After that, Monica flipped her hair. She was confident. She was afraid that Wang Zhong would not agree, so Monica said, "Moreover, I heard that there is not enough manpower there. These days, even the boss of the advertising company often comes to support. I heard that he is Sun Su Su's old classmate." "Oh, classmate." Wang Zhong still did not raise his head. But he heard the flirtatious tone in Monica's voice. This made him vigilant. "Yeah, and Su Su admires him a lot. I chatted with Su Su when we were having dinner. She said that her old classmate is really amazing. He was a straight-A student in school and started from scratch. Now, his advertising company is doing really well." Monica knew that Wang Zhong was interested in Sun Su Su. She knew that he would take some measures. There were only 2 methods he could use. First, he could summon Sun Su Su back and stop her from communicating with her old classmate. Second, he could send her over to find out more details. Either way, it would be beneficial to Monica. "Well, it seems that Sun Su Su is interested in that man?" Wang Zhong said. "It's not that she is interested in him. She just admires him. You know, Mr. Wang, women like capable men. Seems like you know me well." How could Wang Zhong not understand Monica's thoughts? She told him all this to say, "I know you are interested in Sun Su Su. Send me over. I can help you keep a good eye on Sun Su Su." Dealing with smart people was sometimes so worry-free. No, it's our responsibility to share the boss's worries. "Well, you are a smart person. I will give you a bonus of 5,000 yuan this month." Sometimes, the boss could not be too stingy when the employee was so sensible. Otherwise, it would be disappointing. "Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss." To a salaried worker like Monica, this 5,000 yuan bonus was considered good. From today onwards, you will work in the sales department. Alright, the sales this time is very effective. After the sales ends, all the employees will go to the beach on Saturday and Sunday. Really? Monica was so happy that her heart was about to jump out of her chest. She ran out immediately and announced this exciting news. 3 minutes later, the employees outside all jumped up happily. Chapter 557. This time, the sales of the cars were good. Moreover, Wang Zhong launched a buy once maintenance, get one free maintenance event. In the past, he had thought that many people complained that 4S stores were expensive because everyone used the same materials. Why should 4S stores be expensive? Therefore, they went to ordinary car shops outside for maintenance, causing 4S stores' business to not be very good. Why didn't 4S stores make it cheaper? Many people said that 4S stores cost a lot, so the prices were expensive. In Wang Zhong's opinion, this was not true. Because there was a lot of volume, there was still a profit. Since the prices were so expensive, it could only be said that 4S stores wanted to make more money. Therefore, this time, Wang Zhong launched a buy once maintenance, get one free maintenance event. However, each customer had to buy at least 3 maintenance sessions. In other words, if they spent 3 maintenance sessions, they could get 6 maintenance sessions. Once the event was launched, there was indeed a lot of business. After all, most people still recognized 4S stores' services. If the prices were the same, the shops outside would definitely not be able to compete with 4S stores. Finally, it was the weekend. Wang Zhong booked 3 buses and brought the employees to the beach. "Dahai, you're all water." After arriving at the beach and giving tickets, the employees shouted excitedly. "Everyone, go to the changing room and change your clothes. After changing, the men will bring the barbecue grill. The women can play as you wish." Wang Zhong shouted. "Oh, long live the boss. The boss is so nice. I love the boss." After Wang Zhong came out of the changing room, many people had already set up the barbecue grill and started barbecuing. A group of women rushed to the beach under Monica's leadership, attracting the attention of many tourists. This was a beautiful scene. However, what made him frown was that Sun Su was not there. In fact, Wang Zhong was also looking forward to seeing if Sun Su, who looked exactly the same as the game, was the same person. Appearance and personality were already very similar. Now, he only needed to see the waist to understand clearly. Sun Su was not in the group of women. At this time, he finally saw Sun Su at the entrance, but beside him was a lean man in beach pants. The two of them seemed to be chatting happily, which made Wang Zhong frown. It seemed that this was the advertising company boss that Sun Su had recently met, which was also her old classmate. "Xiao, who is this?" Wang Zhong walked over and asked. "Mr. Wang, this is my classmate, Tan Zhenxing. He is also the boss of the advertising company we are working with this time." Sun Su explained and introduced Wang Zhong to Tan Zhenxing. Then she said, "Tan Zhenxing knows that we are here to play this time, so he also came." Tan Zhenxing smiled and greeted Wang Zhong. "Hello, President Wang. I've heard Xiao talk about you several times. She said that her boss is a young and promising man. Now I see that you are really young." "Just so," Wang Zhong said lightly. "I've also heard a lot of people talk about you. You are already a boss at such a young age. Amazing. You're too polite. Please take care of me in the future. I'm just a car seller. How can I take care of you?" This guy seemed to have the intention of getting closer to Sun Su. "Take care of my ass." Although Wang Zhong had the ability to kill the opponent in one move, he was not a pervert. In a situation where his life was not threatened, Wang Zhong did not want to kill people for no reason. That was too vulgar. "President Su, you are too polite. Although we are in 2 different industries, there is still hope for cooperation. No matter how bad it is the same to be friends, right?" Tan Zhenxing was very good at talking. In his opinion, he was talented. His brain was unique. Otherwise, he would not have become the boss of an advertising company at such a young age. The reason why he was able to chat with Wang Zhong so politely was purely due to Wang Zhong's high status. He believed that a big boss like Wang Zhong would definitely take a fancy to talents, and he was that kind of talent. Wang Zhong also saw Tan Jinqing's confidence. He wanted to ask, "Who gave you such confidence? Let's not talk about it. Let's go and play." Wang Zhong glanced at Sun Su. He was speechless. This woman was actually wearing a one-piece swimming suit. Are you joking? Why are you dressed so conservatively? But thinking back, it seemed that Sun Su had always been so conservative. It was only when Sun Su moved by herself that she was more open. Tan Junxing went down to swim. Sun Su walked over and said, "President Wang, I found their company and found out that it was opened by my classmate. I didn't get any commission." Wang Zhong nodded and said, "I didn't say anything. Why are you so anxious? I'm afraid that you will think too much. Okay, as long as the work is done well, you don't have to worry. But looking at Tan Jinqing, it seems that he is interested in you." Wang Zhong said with a smile that was not a smile. "No, he is just an old classmate." Sun Su did not think too much and continued, "Besides, Tan Jinqing is such an excellent person. Why would he be interested in me?" "He is excellent?" Wang Zhong was surprised. He did not know how Sun Su came to this conclusion. "Yeah, he's really outstanding. When he was in school, he always got scholarships. He's one of the top students. Now, he's opened an advertising company at such a young age. The business is doing well. He's much more capable than us." "You are you. Don't add the word us." Sun Su was speechless. She thought that Wang Zhong wanted to fight for her. "So, this is what it means to be excellent." Wang Zhong sighed. It seemed that if Tan Jinqing wanted to pursue Sun Su, it would be very easy. After all, Sun Su worshipped Tan Jinqing. She thought that Tan Jinqing was awesome and was a good man. Women like this kind of thing. However, Wang Zhong was very curious. Would Tan Jinqing be able to resist Monica's allure? After the barbecue was done, the group of people who were playing in the sea came ashore. Wang Zhong wanted Monica to seduce Tan Jinqing to see Tan Jinqing's bottom line. He did not expect that Monica was already sitting with Tan Jinqing. This woman's action was too fast. Hee, Jinqing, you are so funny. I am dying of laughter." He didn't know what Monica and Tan Jinqing were talking about, but they were laughing so hard. Tan Jinqing could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He felt that he was right to come today. He was indeed excellent. He was a handsome man and a talent. His original target was Sun Su. When he was in school, Sun Su was an ugly duckling and came from a village. She was very ordinary. However, a few days ago, he saw that Sun Su was quite good. She was also in charge of their car market's advertising business. Hence, he decided to get close to Sun Su. He could see that Sun Su worshipped him. This was normal. He was the top student in school. It was normal to be worshipped. Today, he did not expect Sun Su's manager, Monica, to take the initiative to approach him. When he thought of Monica's good figure, he felt a burning sensation in his heart. Hence, at this moment, he immediately threw Sun Su to the back of his mind. What a joke. Monica's position was high and she was more enthusiastic than Sun Su. Only a fool would let Monica go. Hence, the two of them chatted happily. Sun Su was drinking beer at the side. She was not very comfortable. Why was her Prince Charming chatting so happily with Monica? Tan Jinqing had been getting close to her these few days. Sun Su felt like she was in school. However, in the blink of an eye, the man was in Monica's arms. Could it be that all men like Monica? This is 1983 Amosi Thievery. It's red wine from Grava Manor. Cheers. Wang Zhong took the initiative to pour red wine for Sun Su. Since Sun Su was dressed so conservatively, he could only get her drunk. Then, he would see if she was the Sun Su Su. Seeing her Prince Charming drinking with someone else, Sun Su Su felt very uncomfortable. Hence, she made up her mind and drank too. Soon, most of the employees were drunk. Sun Su Su wanted to drink less. However, when she saw Monica and Tan Jinxing leave together, her heart turned cold. Gulp, gulp. Sun Su Su drank directly. However, she was not stupid. Before drinking, she told her female companion to look after her. However, the female companion was also Wang Zhong's employee. Wang Zhong just ordered, "Xiao Hong, clean up here. I'll help Su Su to get her clothes." It was just a simple sentence and he sent her away. It was too easy. Just as he reached the door of the changing room, Monica came over unexpectedly. President Wang. Monica had a faint smile on her face. She seemed to be proud that she could see through Wang Zhong's thoughts. "You and Tan Jinxing are quite fast," Wang Zhong teased. "No, I left him there and left. The waiters can testify. Monica was a very pure person. She only loved money. Maybe Tan Jinxing was a talent in the eyes of others. However, in her eyes, he was not worth as much as 5,000 yuan. Therefore, she would not do a losing deal with Tan Jinxing. She left him in the room and left." "Well, why did you do that?" Wang Zhong stared at Monica and asked. "I don't like this guy. He always stared at Sun Su Su. Sun Su Su is young. I was worried that she was inexperienced. So, I sacrificed myself to let her see what kind of person Tan Jinxing is." Monica was very smart. She knew that if she took the initiative to say that she did it for Wang Zhong would think that she was scheming. Therefore, she took a roundabout way to get Wang Zhong's favor. "Well, you did well. Go and get Su Su's clothes." "Yes, boss." The hotel by the sea was just a few steps away. When they entered the hotel, the security guards and the front desk did not stop them. Today, Wang Zhong had booked a real room on the first floor. They were already used to seeing such a big boss helping his own employee into the room. The front desk even thought that it would be great if they were the drunk one. After entering the room, the drunk Sun Su Su fell directly on the bed. "Don't care about me. Drink, continue drinking." At this time, Sun Su Su was still shouting to drink. "Stop arguing. You're drunk." Wang Zhong touched his chin and looked at the beauty who did not know how to resist at all. In the end, Wang Zhong did not do anything. He was not a villain. He would not take advantage of others. At this moment, he was just looking at her waist to see if there was that mark. After looking, Wang Zhong's eyes narrowed. Chapter 558. Wang Zhong didn't do anything. He called the front desk. Sun Su Su was drunk and needed someone to take care of her. After tidying up Sun Su Su's clothes, Wang Zhong tried on her measurements. Her measurements were exactly the same as his wife's. After decades of sharing the same bed, Wang Zhong was very familiar with her measurements. They weren't big in the early stages, but they were scary in the later stages. It was still in the early stages. Knock, knock, knock. The front desk knocked on his door. Wang Zhong opened the door and gave the female front desk a tip of 500 yuan. "My employee drank too much. Take care of her." After receiving the 500 yuan tip, the front desk was very excited. She nodded repeatedly. "Thank you, boss. Don't worry, I will take good care of her." Back in his room, Wang Zhong lay on his bed. Awesome, too awesome. The moment he saw Sun Su Su's waist, he was dazed. This Sun Su Su was really his wife in the game. Not only her personality and appearance, but even her waist was exactly the same. That scar was really the same. Why would a person in the game appear in real life? Wang Zhong wasn't too sure and couldn't understand. He shook his head and decided not to think about it. It had been many days since the quest had appeared. Wang Zhong reckoned that he would be entering the game in a few days. He decided to play the scumbag game this time. Firstly, he didn't want to transmigrate and become a woman. Secondly, he could inherit 100 million yuan. In terms of the mission, it was much easier for a rich man to be a scumbag. After all, wasn't there a saying? If you didn't have money, you weren't qualified to be a scumbag. Because those who didn't have money were scumbags. What was a scumbag? It was a person that girls both loved and hated. There was once a girl who described a scumbag like this. Scumbags were like snacks. I know it's not healthy to eat them, but they were delicious. Yes, very insightful. Therefore, if he wanted to be a successful scumbag that people both loved and hated, he needed money. Wang Zhong decided to start with this 100 million yuan. He needed to invest and earn money. He wanted to become a tycoon. Of course, there were many ways to earn money, such as being a celebrity like before. However, this conflicted with the mission. As a celebrity, he needed to live under the spotlight. He didn't want to become a scumbag and be watched by people every day. Because once he was watched, he wouldn't be able to be a scumbag even if he wanted to. How dare this Monica trick me? Early in the morning, Tan Junxing woke up and looked at the empty bed beside him. He was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. In a daze, he recalled that Monica had left him here last night. Damn it, if you don't want to sleep with me, you should have said so earlier. Originally, when he saw Monica taking the initiative to touch his thighs secretly while drinking, he thought that this was a hint. He didn't expect that it was all for nothing. Tan Junxing was very regretful. If he had known that Monica would run away, he would have focused on getting Sun Su Su. His original plan was to take down Sun Su Su yesterday. After all, wouldn't something pleasant happen if everyone drank too much on a trip? What a pity, what a pity. However, Tan Junxing didn't think too much about it. He still thought that Monica was a decent girl. Before they really got together, Monica would keep her chastity. What should I do next? Tan Junxing pondered. He thought that he was a proud son of God. Since he was young, the whole class and even the teachers and students in the school revolved around him. At that time, in order to get a scholarship, he even took down the principal's daughter who was in her 30s. Why would he worry about not being able to get Sun Su Su and Monica? After thinking about it, Tan Junxing couldn't help but laugh. I'm so silly. Only a child would make a choice. I, Tan Junxing, want both. Dizzy, so dizzy. At the same time, Sun Su Su woke up from his sleep. Sun Su Su rubbed his forehead tiredly. He suddenly remembered. Good wine had this function. No matter how much one drank, one would only feel dizzy but not have a headache. Only fake wine would cause a splitting headache. Sun Su Su remembered how Wang Zhong sent her into the house last night. At that time, she was very drunk and Wang Zhong was lying beside her. It's over, it's over. Sun Su Su couldn't remember what happened after that because she fell asleep. However, that didn't mean that she didn't know what happened. Because the clothes on her body had turned into pajamas. Wang Zhong, I have already called the police. You will be severely punished by the law. Wang Zhong heard Sun Su Su's angry roar as soon as he picked up the phone. Hey, Su Su, are you okay? Wang Zhong didn't want to talk. He didn't do anything. You took advantage of me. Do you think I don't know? Wang Zhong, you bastard percent. Yen percent. Before he could finish, the other side of the phone became noisy. Sun Su Su seemed to be crying. I am still your boss. Can you not be like this? Wang Zhong said helplessly. How can I not be like this? You said you didn't take advantage of me? My virginity has been ruined by you. Sob sob sob. Anyway, I will call the police immediately. She hung up the phone after saying that. Wang Zhong was helpless. He could only call the receptionist and ask her to explain. After leaving the house, Wang Zhong went directly to Sun Su Su's room. At this moment, the receptionist just came up from downstairs and explained to Sun Su Su. Miss, don't be agitated. Mr. Wang is a very good person. He sent you in last night and then asked me to take care of you. I was the one who changed your clothes. Is it true? Sun Su Su felt that it was unbelievable. Sun Su Su was quite confident in her charm. Although she was not as good as Monica, she had the charm of a girl next door. When she was unguarded, how could Wang Zhong not have any reaction? Sun Su Su did not believe it. She felt that Wang Zhong must have done something perverted, but that guy did not have the guts to do it and ran away at the last minute. Yes, that must be it. Sun Su Su was very good at filling in the blanks in her mind. At this moment, the receptionist was actually quite speechless. She thought that the man was so good. He was young and rich. She could not wait to be with him. This girl, on the other hand, acted as if she had been taken advantage of. How was it, Su Su? Did I explain it clearly enough? Wang Zhong walked out of the door and nodded to the receptionist, indicating that she could leave. Yes, I know. Sun Su Su blushed. She knew that she had misunderstood Wang Zhong. She said, "Thank you. Don't mention it." Wang Zhong waved his hand, appearing to be indifferent. Then change your clothes. Let's go back. Downstairs, when everyone was having breakfast in the hotel's back hall, Tan Jinxing came to Sun Su Su's room. It was not that he did not want to look for Monica. In his opinion, Monica was very proactive yesterday. There was still hope for him to get Monica. Unfortunately, he found that Monica had not woken up yet. So, he prepared to start with Sun Su Su. Morning, Su Su. I was really drunk yesterday. After sending Monica to her room, I went back to sleep. I was really tired. It not only showed that he and Monica were innocent, but also showed that he was a gentleman. How are you? Tan Junxing asked. I'm fine, Sun Su Su said out of politeness. Right, today is Sunday. What are you going to do when you go back? What do you mean? Do you have any activities? No. Just in time. I have 2 movie tickets. Let's watch a movie together. If it was before, Sun Su Su might have agreed. But yesterday, she saw Tan Jinxing and Monica's little actions. So, she shook her head and said, I'm tired. I need to go back and rest. You? Okay then. Tan Jinxing guessed that Sun Su Su noticed his and Monica's little actions yesterday. So, it made her vigilant. This made him a little annoyed. Otherwise, it would be easy for him to get her. After all, he was so outstanding and charming. Which girl would not like him? What, you suddenly hate Tan Jinxing? Who was the one who said yesterday that Tan Jinxing was a talent, an awesome talent? After leaving, Wang Zhong walked beside Sun Su Su and smiled. You saw it? Sun Su Su said. Yeah, I saw him leave because he was bored. If I were to guess, he asked you out? Yeah, but I didn't agree. Why? I'm not stupid. Sun Su Su was speechless. Okay. Speaking of which, you're still young. Don't be fooled by those sanctimonious people in the future. Otherwise, if my store suffers any losses, I won't forgive you. Okay, don't worry, boss. I'll work hard. Now, Sun Su Su had a good impression of Wang Zhong. At least last night, when she was drunk, Wang Zhong was still calm. This showed that he was a righteous person. Ring ring ring. At this time, a phone call came. Wang Zhong looked at the unknown number, but he still picked it up. Is this CEO Wang? Hello, I'm He Jianda. I'm sorry for calling you. He Jianda was the previous owner of the 4S store. He originally wanted to sell this place. He was worried about how to sell it at a good price. He did not expect to meet Wang Zhong. So, he sold it immediately without any hesitation. Wang Zhong was puzzled. The transaction between them was completed. Why would he call him? Oh, Mr. He. What's the matter? It's like this. This 4S store of mine, Sai. It belongs to my father. When he found out that I sold this place, he was so angry that he fell ill. In order to not make him angry, I want to buy back that store. But don't worry, I'll increase the price. I'll increase the price by 5 million. I'm really sorry, Mr. Wang. My father worked so hard to raise me. I can't live without him. He's already 80 years old. Boo-hoo. F***ck, a grown man is about to cry. But his conditions were not bad. It's only been a month, and he's willing to increase the price by 5 million. F***ck, this money came too fast. Oh, I know. Consider it. Wang Zhong wanted to let Sun Su Su make this decision. He wanted to test her ability. Okay, CEO Wang. I'll wait for your call. I'm really sorry. I'm also doing this to show my filial piety. Okay, I know. After hanging up the phone, Wang Zhong looked at Sun Su Su and told her what he Jianda said. Then he asked, if you were me, would you accept the 5 million or reject it? Chapter 559. Of course, I refuse. To Wang Zhong's surprise, Sun Su Su directly refused. Oh. Tell me about it. Wang Zhong said with interest. Because he Jianda is not the kind of person who is filial. Sun Su Su analyzed logically, I used to work for him. I don't know him the best, but I definitely know what kind of person he is. As employees, we all know that his father was sent to the sanatorium by him a long time ago. He doesn't even visit his father once in a few years. How can such a person pay more to redeem this place for his father? It doesn't make sense. Then why did he do it? It must be profit. Either he felt that the car markets business would be better if he sold it at a loss, or there are other benefits in that place. I think the latter is more likely because no matter how good the car markets business is, it won't earn him 5 million in a short time. Demolition? After thinking about it, Sun Su Su suddenly blurted out. Because in her opinion, only demolition could make so much money in a short time. Oh. Wang Zhong raised his eyebrows. To be honest, he didn't think of this, but Sun Su Su thought of it. Sure enough, Sun Su Su had business talent. This was proven in ancient times, but what Sun Su Su lacked now was practice. Yes, it must be demolition. When I first came here, I went to eat breakfast and heard a few old people in the residential building in front of the 4S shop complaining. They said that they wanted to demolish it, but they didn't demolish it. At that time, there should be some news. Well, that's probably it. Wang Zhong nodded silently. Otherwise, he really couldn't understand why he Jianda suddenly went back on selling the car business for no reason. Well, then I won't sell it. Wang Zhong made up his mind. Demolition was an opportunity that could only be encountered. He occupied such a large area. When the time came, he would be able to compensate a lot of money. At this time, he Jianda was also anxious and sighing. Originally, he was very happy after selling the car business because he was very satisfied with the transaction price. For this reason, he invited some good friends to dinner and talked about this matter in passing. Unexpectedly, a well-informed friend told him that his house was about to be demolished. The higher-ups were now suppressing the news of this matter to prevent people from temporarily fabricating houses. Now, the higher-ups had already formed a secret team to inspect the area of the residence. The approximate compensation price had also been determined. If his residence was successfully demolished, it was estimated that the compensation would be in the hundreds of millions. When he heard the news, he Jianda's heart sank. Back then, he was still feeling smug over the fact that he had obtained a transaction price of more than 10 million yuan. Who would have thought that the other party would be able to obtain hundreds of millions of yuan just like that? That was the reason for the phone call. After hanging up, he was still worried. After thinking for a long time, he called Monica and asked her out. The next day, not long after Wang Zhong returned to the company, Monica knocked on the door and entered. CEO Wang, I have something to report. Oh, what is it? Wang Zhong looked at Monica and asked. It's like this. Monica organized her words and recalled what he Jianda had said when he asked her out in the morning. This place was about to be demolished, and it was very likely that they would have to pay hundreds of millions of yuan in compensation. He Jianda had said that as long as she could help him triumph and make Wang Zhong return this place to him, she would be able to get 1,000,000 yuan as a reward. To be honest, Monica was tempted. However, after thinking about it again and again, she felt that it was very, very difficult. Wang Zhong was the only man she could not see through. It could be said that he did not buy this place to make money at all. She could tell that he had other motives. It was impossible for such a person to sell this place for 5,000,000 yuan. On the contrary, if she stood on He Jianda's side, she might not be able to get any benefits and might even lose her job. After thinking about it, she decided to report the truth and get some substantial benefits first. Thus, Monica told him that this place was about to be demolished. "Looks like it's true." Wang Zhong nodded slightly. "I guessed it when he called me. He said that it was for his old father. It was just a bluff." Monica heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, she stood on the right side. Because Wang Zhong had already guessed that this place was going to be demolished, it was useless even if she talked until she broke. "However, the information you provided is very good." Wang Zhong casually took out 20,000 yuan from the drawer and threw it on the table. "Go back and find out from him when this place is going to be demolished and how much it will cost." Okay. Monica nodded repeatedly. She was excited by Wang Zhong's generosity. When she was with He Jianda in the past, that old man was not so generous. "All right." Wang Zhong stopped Monica and asked, "I've been quite interested in the stock market recently. Do you know any stock market experts?" Stock market experts. There are quite a lot of stock market experts on the news recently. Got it. Seeing that Monica did not know much, Wang Zhong waved his hand, indicating that she could leave. Now, he wanted to learn how to trade stocks. It was very simple. The most important thing for this scumbag mission was to have money. Doing business in modern society was too intense and troublesome. He could not earn fast money. Therefore, Wang Zhong wondered if he should play the stock market when the time came. He randomly watched some stock market expert videos on TV. Wang Zhong did not understand at all. At this moment, he thought of some people. When he was an assassin, those big organizations had deposited their money in many places. Among them, there were some financial experts who helped the big organizations earn money. They deposited their money in the stock market, various funds, and national debt. In the blink of an eye, they made a lot of money. Of course, not all financial experts could play it well. However, in general, there were not many losses. Because those who had lost a lot of money were already buried. Wang Zhong disguised himself slightly and drove his luxury car to the Assassin Hotel. Just like before, some famous assassins who had killed countless people were chatting in the hotel. Many of them might be enemies, but after coming to the hotel, they all gathered together to chat. It was not because they had let go of their hatred, but because of the rules of the Assassin Hotel. Here, fighting, killing, murdering, and destroying were strictly prohibited. Once the rules were violated, the assassin would be hunted down by the entire industry. Wang Zhong walked in and attracted a lot of attention. However, they quickly turned their heads away because Wang Zhong was dressed like an ordinary person. Housing, equipment, and information? The hotel manager asked in a gentlemanly manner. Here, everything an assassin needed could be provided. Staying here meant absolute safety. Here, the assassin could also get the equipment and information he needed. If he was injured, he could even receive medical treatment here. Of course, the price here was also very expensive. Information, Wang Zhong said with familiarity. Okay, whose information do you need? Woodpeckers. Okay, I'll check. Woodpecker, a veteran of the underground world, was a money laundering expert. His disciples were all over the world. Those who knew him knew the reason why he was nicknamed Woodpecker was because of his superb stock trading skills. As long as he had his eyes on a stock, regardless of whether it was going up or down, he would persevere like a woodpecker, pecking and pecking at the tree until he made a lot of money. When the time came, he would successfully withdraw. Woodpecker's information was not hard to find because no one would touch him. He had earned money for many big shots in his early years. Touching him was the same as touching those big shots. Although he had retired, he still had many disciples. No one wanted to mess with him. Soon, the manager pulled up Woodpecker's phone number. "This is his business number. We can only give you this information." "Okay." Wang Zhong wrote down the number, paid the 5 million service fee and left. After leaving the hotel, Wang Zhong dialed Woodpecker's number. "If you want to find Mr. Taft for information, please press 1. If you want to find Mr. Taft for investment, please press 2. If you want to find Mr. Taft for business, please press 3. If you want to find Mr. Taft for personal matters, please press the well button." Wang Zhong was speechless. Taft's business was still so big even though he had retired. After thinking for a while, Wang Zhong pressed 4. He was looking for Woodpecker to learn and consult about financial matters. Of course, this was a personal matter. "Connecting for you. Please wait." After a few rings, a sweet girl said, "Hello, may I ask why you are looking for Mr. Taft?" "I want to ask about some financial matters." "Okay, I'll send you the payment account later. Transfer 10 million. Mr. Taft will video call you." "Okay." After hanging up, Wang Zhong sighed. This guy was really something. 10 million for a phone call. The video call was quickly connected. On the other end was a wrinkled old man. He murmured, "Who are you? Why are you looking for me?" "I'm just an ordinary person. I want to ask some questions about the stock market." "Okay, I'll send you the summary of my stock market experience. You can ask me if there's anything you don't understand." "Mr. Taft." Wang Zhong's tone became serious. He didn't want to see the stock market experience. In his opinion, this Taft was so good at the stock market. He wouldn't simply follow the stock market experience. He must have his own specialty. "As long as you can make me a stock market expert in 3 days, I'll give you a treasure." 3 days? Ha, are you crazy? At this moment, Taft was sure that Wang Zhong was a stupid rich kid who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. If Wang Zhong didn't pay 10 million, he would have hung up the video call. "I'm not crazy. You can take a look at this. I promise you'll like it." "What is it? What do you lack the most right now?" "Lack the most?" Taft frowned. At his level, he didn't lack anything. Money, power, women, he had them all. But he was already so old. What he lacked the most was longevity. "What you lack is life. I have a way to make you at least 10 years younger." "Oh." Taft was tempted. What Wang Zhong said was right. He was afraid of dying of old age. Although it was said that everyone would experience life and death, people like him, who had money and power, were most afraid of death. If he could live longer, he could enjoy more. "You really have a way?" Taft asked. Chapter 560. A day later, Tafu and Wang Zhong met at the same hotel. Tafu was very excited. He knew that he didn't have much time left, so he had been trying to find a way to increase his lifespan. Sometimes he would take a lot of detours, but he didn't care. Since he was going to die, he would just treat it like a dead horse. Of course, those who dared to lie to him wouldn't have a good ending. When they arrived at Wang Zhong's room, Tafu entered the room with 3 bodyguards. Wang Zhong didn't care about this. After all, in his eyes, these people couldn't even withstand a single blow. "You really have the secret to longevity? Tell me, I can give you anything you want." Tafu shouted excitedly. "Don't be so excited, Mr. Tafu." Wang Zhong took a step back. This Tafu was fat, greasy, and extremely ugly. He felt disgusted. "The secret to longevity, I definitely have it. But what about the things I want? If you can't help me become a financial expert in 3 days, I won't give you the secret." "Ahahaha, don't worry, you don't need 3 days. With my help, you only need 1 day, even if you don't know anything," Tafu said indifferently. Originally, Tafu's men wanted to capture Wang Zhong and interrogate him, but Tafu immediately dispelled the idea. First, Wang Zhong was staying in this hotel. Second, Wang Zhong dared to look for him openly. He wasn't a fool, he definitely had a backup plan. Anyway, to him, as long as he could live longer, he could pay any price. "You guys can leave." Tafu waved his hand, signaling the bodyguards to leave. Wang Zhong closed the door and said, "Speak. Let's take out what we need together. How about it?" "Okay." Wang Zhong nodded. He didn't need to hide anything to prevent others from thinking too much. Immediately, he took out the elixir that he exchanged with experience points. This elixir was exchanged from the demon fox world. In essence, it was an ordinary qi elixir. If an ordinary person ate it, it would increase their strength, improve their physique, and increase their vitality. Wang Zhong had previously discovered that after ordinary people ate it, their lifespan would increase by about 10 years. However, if they ate it a second time, it would no longer be effective. This is called a luck pill. After you eat it, take a bath and you will soon find that you are glowing. Is it really that good? First of all, I don't talk nonsense. Secondly, it's up to you to believe it or not. Wang Zhong said indifferently. Alright. Taf had no reason not to gamble. Then, he took out the black book. This is a treasure I obtained from an ancient tomb when I was young. Wang Zhong glanced at the words on the black book. The words were very complicated and curved. It didn't look like English or Latin. What does that mean? What this means is luck. Taf began to explain, people's karmic luck is very strange. Some people have heaven-defying karmic luck when they are young, and everything goes smoothly for them. But in their later years, their karmic luck is lacking, and everything goes wrong. Some people don't have good karmic luck in their early years, but the river flows east for 30 years and the river flows west for another 30 years. As they grow up, some people's karmic luck gradually goes against the heavens. This book talks about the path of karmic luck. I invest in stocks and finance not only because I have some professional knowledge, but also because I read this book. Wang Zhong took the ancient book and found that the contents of the book had been translated and written in English. Karmic luck is a mysterious thing. For example, some people have heaven-defying karmic luck. If an unlucky person is with them, their karmic luck will also be heaven-defying. However, if the unlucky person has heaven-defying karmic luck, the heaven-defying person will also be unlucky. The reason why people call me a woodpecker when it comes to stocks, and I only play one stock at a time, is because of this. I don't dare to provoke people with good karmic luck, so I find a lot of unlucky people. I give them money and let them buy the same stock at the same time. Then, I buy a rise. Under the hedging, the unlucky one who buys a fall is heaven-defying, so I buy a rise and win. So that's how it is. Wang Zhong understood. He had heard of this before. In the past, there were people at the casino who saw the people at the table who often lost and bet in the opposite direction. Basically, this method would win money. If you still didn't win money, it could only mean that your karmic luck is worse than that person's. At this time, it's best to stop. Of course, you can't bet more money than the other party, so as to avoid affecting your luck. This kind of karmic luck seems mysterious, but in fact, there is a certain logic to it. Wang Zhong remembered that in his previous life on Earth, every year during the Spring Festival, there would be a game of cards. The games were nothing more than bull, fried golden flour, and so on. Some people would lose no matter how they played cards. If you met such people, you would quickly be the banker and kill them. Some people had frightening luck. At this time, if they weren't the banker, you would bet with them. Basically, you would win. Of course, when playing cards, you have to take the helm according to the wind. Stop when you are ahead, because you will lose if you play too long. And Taf used karmic luck to the extreme. He believed in karmic luck, so he found a lot of unlucky people. When he guessed that the stock would fall, he made these people buy the stock to rise, making the people who thought it would rise even more unlucky. As for him, he was short. Every time he operated, he He could rely on this method to make a lot of money. But when he announced it to the outside world, he always had a lot of excuses. He said that his skills were awesome, that he could calculate, but in fact, he relied on karmic luck. Got it. This book is mine, Wang Zhong said and threw a karmic luck pill. Thank you. Taff swallowed it without hesitation and said, I hope you won't lie to me, because anyone who lies to me will become my unlucky person. Oh, unlucky person? That's right. Unlucky people are not that easy to find. So sometimes, I need to create unlucky people. People who provoke me will become unlucky people. I will make their parents, brothers, and sisters suffer one after another. I will make them suffer from bad luck from then on. When they are desperate, I will give them a sum of money on the condition that they buy stocks. In the end, they will find that after buying the stocks, they will not make a single profit. You are indeed vicious, Taff said. Suddenly, his eyes lit up because he found that his chest, which had always been tight, suddenly became much lighter. The wrinkles on his palms also became smoother. I've become younger. Ha 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 ha, Taff shouted excitedly. I've really become a young man. Okay, you can go now, Wang Zhong said bluntly. Thank you. Taff turned and left. His steps were much lighter now. Wang Zhong, on the other hand, began to read the book. There was not much content in this ancient book. It only talked about how to observe a person's karmic luck. A person with good karmic luck had a straight chest, a dignified appearance, and a radiant look between their brows. Especially their hair, which was glossy and meticulous, and their clothes would not get dirty easily. A person with bad karmic luck would be dejected and complain. Their brows were always wrinkled, and their hair was dull and dull. Their clothes were wrinkled, and even their skin was darker than others. Of course, a person's karmic luck would change. This depended on what a person had done and who they had gotten close to. For example, if you knew a person with good karmic luck as a friend, you might do things smoothly. Otherwise, you would be unlucky. I didn't expect the path of karmic luck to be so mysterious. Wang Zhong was secretly amazed. In the past, he knew that karmic luck was extraordinary, but he did not systematically understand it. Now that he looked at it, there were many things he needed to pay attention to. After leaving the hotel, Wang Zhong released his spirit energy. After confirming that no one was following him, he left the place. Although he was not afraid of those people, he was also afraid of trouble. He still preferred those ordinary days. In the following days, other than going to work, Wang Zhong specially spent money to find a teacher to teach him about stocks and funds. With his clever mind, Wang Zhong absorbed all the knowledge one by one. After learning enough, Wang Zhong estimated that he would enter the system soon. However, the system did not prompt him, so he was happy to be idle. Today, when he came to the 4S store, Wang Zhong could not wait to open the stock window to see what stocks to buy. He had bought some stocks in the past few days, but there were ups and downs. Although he had read the book of karmic luck, he could not implement it in a short time. He was now familiar with the operation. Ring ring ring. At this time, the phone rang. The receptionist called to say that He Jianda was looking for him. Previously, He Jianda called Wang Zhong again, but Wang Zhong had already made it clear that he would not sell this place. He did not expect that after a few days, He Jianda would come again. I don't want to see him, Wang Zhong said without hesitation. It's like this. He also brought a friend and said that he must see you. He also said that you will regret it if you don't see him. He has something good for you. Wow, he even threatened me. He said it was something good, but it was probably something bad. Wang Zhong said, okay, let them in. He wanted to see what tricks He Jianda was playing. Mr. Wang, you are so capable. I just left not long ago, and you have already taken care of this place. He Jianda laughed. Yeah, it's mainly because you didn't know how to do business back then. Wang Zhong did not intend to give him any face. He Jianda's face froze, but he did not get angry. He thought that young people liked to be competitive and were not sensible at all. Behind He Jianda was a middle-aged man with a centipede tattoo on his neck. He looked fierce and sat aside without waiting for Wang Zhong's permission. "Mr. He, why are you looking for me? I think I made it clear on the phone that I am quite satisfied with this place. So, even if you add 5 million, I will not sell it." He, don't be anxious, Mr. Wang. This is my younger brother. We came here this time because we have no choice. It's for our father. He Jianda shook his head helplessly. He seemed to be very helpless. "I'm sorry, I have no choice for your father. How about this, Mr. Wang, you name a price." Everyone in the world was interested in profits. Since Wang Zhong did not agree to 5 million, he would add more money. Unfortunately, Wang Zhong still shook his head. "I don't lack money. If you must talk about this, please leave. Pa. If anything happens to our father, I will drag you down with me." The tattooed man slammed the table and shouted. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.